Thank you, Savannah.
Can I get 50 cents?
Oh crap, I forgot. Savannah, can you have the I need to plug in the cord from over there from the computer to the thingy.
To the thing?
Yeah, the Ethernet cord.
Hey Rachel, am I too bright?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Do I move the internet over here?
No. Here, I'll do it.
How do I move the internet? There's 27. Hello. 35, 45, 46 people. 67 people. Blondie, go away now. Go.
Oh, we're picking up numbers now.
95 people. Get now, Breacher. Go. Go away, Tom.
Hey guys, how are you? 124 now.
Blondie, go lay down somewhere else.
Hey. Oh, I'm coming.
Can you move that away from them, please?
Yes.
All right, I'm trying to plug the Ethernet cord in, you guys.
Oh, it's. By the way, don't pull on that like whatsoever.
I can't. I have to.
Hello. Hey guys.
Now.
Yeah, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, you guys.
Okay, sorry.
We're gonna work hard for it tonight. We're gonna work really hard for our thumbs up.
Yep. All righty. So I got my hair cut today, y'all. It's a trim. Do you like my trim? So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm retrying the curly girl method. I know that I talked about doing it before and that I didn't do it. I tried it, but I used Diva Curl and pardon me. Recently, I found out that Diva Curl sucks, and a lot of people are having problems with it, and so I didn't know that, and so I'm trying it again.
No shade.
So I bought a bunch of products. We're gonna see what happens. Thank you, DWG. So yeah. So
somebody asked, hey Reese, with your Siberians, do you recommend a good brush? Look and Fly. Rachel,
thank
for
you.
a Siberian, do not use a furminator. You will ruin the coat. Use a stickler brush. One good, you can go on Amazon and order one. Just a good stickler.
What's that? A stickler brush.
It's one of those brushes with like the long metal like combs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to use instead, man. Yeah, stickler brush. And also for shampoo, Earth Bath is really good. So get the Earth Bath shampoo and conditioner. And the conditioner is really good for loosening up the coat.
Not quite.
You can ask me all of your grooming questions, you guys, because I'm a groomer.
Yep, exactly. So
yes,
Your
slicker.
coffee is on the way.
thank you. All right.
Whoa, you turned down your light a lot.
I remember I told you it needs to be turned down.
Oh, I thought you meant turned down.
can you,
Instead like facing down.
Can you turn it a little bit more up? It's these overhead ones.
No, quit that. They need to be separated. Gotta keep them separated. Like that?
No, point it this way though.
Oh.
Trinity has not been health tested yet. She'll probably get health tested over the summer. Thank you guys for complimenting my blonde hair. I love it too. Thank you.
Guess that'll work.
Okay.
Super bright. I don't know why.
I'll turn up the upper.
Yeah,
light.
doing that. Yeah.
My opinion of the Merrill Cane Corso, that's not a Cane Corso. That's a mutt. So I'm just going to be very clear. Our breed has never came in that color. It doesn't matter how hard you try to breed a pure Corso, you will never get a Merle.
Exactly.
That's something that's been added in the genetics. My
That'll
guess
make
is
interference.
probably
It makes a
through,
really high pitched sound.
Great Dane or some type of bully.
Thank you, Chauncey. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a major headache, so if I'm not my normal chipper self, that's why. I'm sorry. I did take some Motrin. I'm hoping it'll kick in soon. So it's really not my night. So yeah. So yeah, the Merle dog. I'm not trying to hate on the person who has that dog. If you know, I don't want anybody to think that I'm you know, disapproving of that individual or of them having whatever they want. I simply wanted to voice kind of some reasons as to why it could be a problem, and also just kind of the plain simple truth of that this individual is lied to. And for people to be sitting there and saying, okay, well, you know, it's beautiful is really a non-issue. That's not really the point. It's not real. And there was somebody on my post today or on the video today that was like, let people have what they want, blah, blah, blah. It's not a big deal. All you need
People
to do
can have what they want, but that's not a real Cane Corso. And let's not sit there and pretend like it is. And then people start wanting Merle Cane Corsos.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. That's the problem. People can have whatever they want, but don't lie to people and tell them that that's a purebred dog when it's not.
Yeah, because I saw people saying like, well, it's just one dog. Yeah, it starts off as one dog, and then it becomes a whole kennel full of it, and everybody breeding it. Yeah, like that's exactly what happened to the pit bull. I'm quite sure that the original XL bully, you know, XL pit bull probably started off with, you know, one kennel, and then it grew because people liked it. And so all it takes for a breed to be lost is for people not to say anything about it and just to let it happen. So I'm going to say something, and you may not agree with what I have to say. You may think that I'm being hyperbolic, but you know, that's just my opinion. And as a breeder and as somebody that has been around enough to see how these things go, and I think that if you can try to nip something in the butt when it's just starting, maybe you can actually prevent it from having such a profoundly negative effect. Maybe you can't. I don't know. But I mean, at least, you know, at least I'm trying. Thank you, Michelle.
Hey, Chelsea Allen, I'm sorry for blocking your comment. My phone is broke and it just kind of went crazy and did that. Sorry.
Thank you, Michelle P, for the information. I'm actually gonna look that book up right now because I'm getting a Merle dog. I'm getting into a breed that actually has legitimate Merle, and I need to understand that so that I am gonna be doing good breeding and safe breeding, and I will be DNA testing my dachshunds, because I do know that Merle is one of those genes where it can express itself so minutely that you won't be able to actually see it, or you can miss it with the visual eye. And you really do need to know what the actual color genetics are of that individual, so that I can make sure that I'm not doing any type of irresponsible breeding. Langervine.
But when you see somebody like that dog is being called a Cane Corso, what that is what we call designer breed. That is not a Cane Corso, that is a designer breed. A dog that is that on purpose is purposely bred for that color.
Milkman.
Is that Aaron? Did he just bring you coffee? Oh,
Yeah, he did.
That's so sweet.
Come say hello.
I'm so jealous.
Come say hello.
She is a good man, y'all.
Is this cappuccino? What is this?
Oh, now you're really, Aaron. Now you're really digging it. You better quit that. You better cut it short. Cut it short.
That's Rachel's coffee, but I put my stand on it.
Oh, yeah, that velvet. The velvet coffee.
The velvet blaze.
I love your coffee, by the way.
Oh,
Rachel.
thank
so
you.
much.
Absolutely.
I have it every morning.
Oh, I heard. That's awesome. For y'all that don't know, I sent her some coffee from an Austin coffee shop here called Summer Moon. I sent her a couple packages of a blend called the Velvet Blaze. It's really good.
So Rachel, my phone issued an assault on Chelsea Allen.
Oh my gosh.
I need you to help this poor girl.
You need to muzzle your phone,
comment.
apparently. Okay, let's take a look here and see.
And then it put her on a 300
Chelsea.
second.
Oh, I can't see it. I see it. Let's see here. I'm going
Chelsea,
to.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
Ooh, crap. Geez, it says view deleted message. Crap.
More thumbs up, you guys.
It doesn't really give me
sorry,
the
honey.
ability
I'm so
to do
sorry.
anything. Okay. It's not giving me, all it says is report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user, or add moderator. So all you did was, did you hide her? Oh my God.
Rachel, I don't know what I did.
Oh, it was timed out. So
300
she's timed out for 300 seconds. Okay. So I think that means that she can come back though. We're very Chelsea. There's
I'm so
no,
sorry, Chelsea.
I don't know why there's no unhide. That's ridiculous. I don't get it. Like,
Yeah,
why can't you undo
her.
what you've done? Like,
Here, I texted that person for you.
It was a complete accident. Thank you, Andrew Shannon. Hey, Rachel, have you read the book I.L. Cane Corso? I love Cane Corso?
Hello.
All right, that's the milkman saying hello, you guys. Oh, Connor, thank you so much. She asked when someone would wait 11 weeks to crop a litter. So I actually have that problem myself. There's a lot of veterinarians that crop that like to wait until the puppies are 10 to 12 weeks. So it's really the vet's preference at that point. I've found that very few vets will crop at 6 weeks. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're really at the veterinarian's hands there when they say 11 weeks.
Hold on, I gotta get on this dog in here. No quiet.
Will y'all be breeding Katana and Preacher because they are both champions? Right now, for me, it's not in the plan. Maybe towards her retirement, we'll try it out, see what's gonna happen. But right now, it's not in the plan. But she is gonna be. Preacher's gonna be bred to her Aria. They're more of a match than Preacher and Katana.
Y'all gotta quiet down.
Rachel, did you leave me?
Girl, I'm sorry. I had somebody texting me.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, preacher, was that preacher?
That was me. I'm off today. I told you guys I have a headache and I'm not quite here. Anyway, I'm explaining the difference between OFA and pen hip to somebody. Okay. All right. So
I thought that was preacher for a second. I was like, whoa. Is your coffee good?
Really, Admiral? Be quiet.
Is your coffee good, Mama?
It was very good, Savannah. Thank you.
Yeah, we're not good. I'm all for you too, by the way.
Okay. Thank you, Savannah.
You're welcome.
Do you guys plan on showing your female? So hey, Kate, I'm actually waiting for my second generation to come along before. At this point, it has to be fired.
Dude, really, you guys, why do you drank too much today? That's like the 5th time since we got home. Shh. Y'all get that. Eat back. Out of my
All right, let's continue on with the questions. Tell me, Rachel, do you like muscular, tall white boys?
I do, actually. I do.
What if the personality's not good? Quiet!
My God.
You know, they have to have
Admiral
good
is being
personalities,
such
that's for
a
sure.
butt. Admiral, you need to stop right now. You need to cut it out.
Reese, do you have a male in mind for Katana? I do. There's a few options right now. Rachel has some really nice studs that I can use, and then there's a stud in New York, and hopefully, I'll be able to use the stud that I'm bringing in soon.
Okay. Hey, oh my gosh, those dogs are gonna drive me nuts.
Dee, that's right. She likes her men like dogs, well bred. That's a good one.
Can I dump out the water?
Okay.
No, she didn't. Okay, come on, go.
Heather M. Will I keep an uncropped litter? No. Hey.
Animals. Go on.
Sorry, we just.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
Go.
Just keep them outside for me, okay, honey? My house is straight chaos today. Sorry, you guys, not a good day. Will I keep an uncropped litter? I will eventually not have a whole litter. I will have a dog that, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I haven't done it in a while.
Well, you know, Rachel, I actually think like there's a lot of like Italy is one of the countries that banned the cropped ears, but because of that, remember they lost numbers in the shows, and so now there's a show in Spain that's bigger now.
Well, and that's the thing
nicer
is,
dog. So I mean, honestly,
yeah.
you really wouldn't have to not, to leave natural.
Yeah, and most of them are. Most of them, like if you were to ask Christina, like most of her dogs are cropped. I think only one of them isn't.
Yeah, just one of them. Yeah.
So I mean, it would be nice to be able to take a dog to that show, but I need to stop saying don't I? I really need to get into a habit of not saying what do I do?
You're just not feeling. You're not feeling well tonight.
I'm not. What do you do
feeling...
when you're trying to not say You just sit there quietly.
I used to say. I probably still say it like, And I had a teacher one time, he goes, Reese, I was like, and she was like, and he was like,
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It made me not want to say it, and I started, but I probably still say it because I'm a county girl.
See,
I'm a suburban girl.
So, yeah,
Thank
so
you
pause
so much.
instead. Okay. I'm going to
Video,
try.
Reese, me and my mom absolutely love Billy, and also did the Virginia storm hit you too? Because down here by the beach it's super bad. Let's talk about my day. Rachel, you want to tell them about my day?
Girl, I was shocked. She had a windstorm so bad that it blew her trampoline into her front yard, like over her fence into her front yard, and took off side mirror to her car. Crazy.
Yeah, it was that bad. And my kid got off the bus. He goes, Mom, the trampoline.
So somebody asked, will we do protection work? No, I do not believe in protection work. I believe that a dog should naturally be protective, and that's not something that needs to be taught to them. I don't believe in teaching a dog to bite a random person for no reason. I think that I am a fan of the Cal 2 method, where you test the natural tendency of the dog to protect and to engage, but I do not in any way support just using these dogs for bite work. They're not.
Yeah, there's a protection. There are protection breeds that are bred to bite. And then, Rachel and I were talking about this the other day. Then you have guardian breeds.
Right.
And they're not, of course they can bite. They have teeth, they're dogs, but their method is a lot different than, I believe, a protection dog that's bred to go after a person and bite.
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be my thing. I do not find myself being drawn to the dogs that are historically used for that work. So your German Shepherds, your Dobermans, your Malinois. I don't personally like the energy level of those breeds. So that's why I personally wouldn't want one. You know what I mean? I'm not, I'm just not. What is the best breeds in your opinion for scent work in the context of diabetic service dog? I don't know. You would have to look into that.
For scent work, a bloodhound.
Well, for
a basket of blood.
Yeah, in the sense of diabetes, though, I don't know if there's a difference. They are like, there is no dog better than a bloodhound, that's for sure. There's been lots of studies that have shown that, but anyway, but yeah, there are other scent hounds, just not as good as that. I think if you're looking for something smaller, I want to say that Italian truffle dog would probably be a good option. They're small and they are used for their sense of scent. I think it's the Regato Romano or Legato Romano, something like that. That might be a small version for you, but I don't know if there's any difference in that type of scent work versus typical scent work. And I think that would be an important factor.
With that said, I don't personally, for me, Corso are not the best service dogs ever, but can they do service work? They can. Can they do scent work? Absolutely. But are they the best at it? And that's where your research does come in. And I think that there are other breeds that excel at that rather than ours.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't say that ours would be a good option for that. What's up with the Corsos that look like bug-eyed gargoyles? Yeah. That is an issue of the dogs having too round of an eye and probably too short of a muzzle, so it kind of makes it look pronounced. That is something that can happen. It's basically the incorrect eye for the breed. This breed is still being shaped or selected for the proper type. So we have things like that from time to time. It's not the end of the world. You just make sure that when you breed those dogs, that you breed them to dogs with the correct eye set.
Yep. Thank you again. One more. Laugh out loud. I'm sorry I'm annoying with these messages. But Rachel, my mom is super excited. Oop, I just lost it. About you breeding Dachshunds. And said your puppy is cute. Her puppy is super cute.
Yeah. Tomorrow at 2:30 is when they're supposed to arrive. And yeah, I know. I'm really excited about it. I know you can't tell because I don't seem very excited, but I am. I'm just tired. I don't know what's up with. I guess I didn't get very good sleep last night. I went to bed kind of late, and then I woke up kind of early. I try to have my blinds open so the sun wakes me up. So I got up pretty early, and I shouldn't have. I was up really late doing laundry, and I wouldn't let myself go to bed until I put up all my laundry because I don't like to put things in the hamper after I've washed them. I feel like if you don't put it up the day of, then it takes forever to put it up. So I'd rather just put it up. And because I did so many loads of laundry, I was up really late. So yeah.
And it gets wrinkled, you know.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It gets wrinkled.
What's my opinion on the American Bully? I'm actually, this is going to sound weird, I'm actually more approving of a well-bred exotic, like a little one, than I even am the big ones, because I don't like the combination of a terrier temperament mixed with a guardian breed. I think that is where you get a lot of the maulings, a lot of the dogs that attack people and they won't stop, is when you take that tenacious, never give up temperament of the terrier, which is a good thing in the right dog. And then you mix it with a dog that sees people as a threat. And then all of a sudden you have a dog that attacks a person and you can't get them off. And so for me, I worry and contemplate sometimes, is that what's going on when we hear about these pit bull attacks? And could it have been avoided if we didn't cross those temperaments, versus the exotic ones that have a lot of like little bulldog in them, French bulldog? Those tend to be, they seem to be a lot happier. I haven't heard of any of them mauling anyone. So I see them more as like kind of like a different version of a French bulldog in a way. You know what I mean? Obviously it's not a Frenchie, but I don't see them to be as much of a problem. I see them as like, it's a pet, you know, so whatever. I see the other ones as being problematic temperamentally.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying my best not to do the y'all. That's why I'm like talking the way that I am. I am consciously trying. I noticed it myself when I did my video today. I was like, why am I saying so many times? Oh my God, like this is hard to listen to. And like,
at least you don't say light.
And you used to
be light.
You used to be like, quit saying
I know. I recognized it myself. That's why I called myself out on it. I was like, okay, y'all, drink every time you hear me say So I got it. I get it. I do think that some people like criticize people for it, and they'll say that that person's stupid, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that it is.
Brain working so fast?
Yeah, I don't think that it's an issue of intelligence, but it is a bad habit, and I am going to try to break it. Do I ever train with treats? Only only puppies, only to teach the concept of a behavior. Once the concept has been recognized and achieved, I don't use the treat anymore. I ask the dog to do the behavior because I ask them to, not because there's a treat involved. So I do believe that treats have a place, just like everything. I think that everything needs to be in moderation. And I think that's a big reason why there's such an obesity crisis in dogs right now, is because most people can't get a dog to behave without a treat. And the only way to really kind of get around that is by not feeding them their normal food, and by feeding them their normal food in using treats throughout the day, which really isn't, I think, a very practical thing for me. I know that people will disagree with me on that, and that's fine. That's my opinion. Thank you, Chancey. Am I saying that right, Chancey? I apologize if I'm insulting your name.
A comment that was deleted by Mark B made the comment asking if we get attached to our dogs, or is it all about the money? And you know, that's at some point, you know, that there's a realization, and that realization is that we're breeders, and that we have an obligation to the breed that we are breeding and producing puppies out of. And we do get attached to the dogs, but when you love the breed, you have to learn to make hard decisions. And sometimes those decisions, you have to let go of dogs that you love dearly, that are in your program, that are not going to work out. We love every dog that comes in because we have a love for dogs in general. So I just wanted to make that very clear, that we do care, but we have to our breed.
Mm-hmm. See, Julian, hey, Rachel, are you putting yourself out there dating, trying to find a man like Tinder, going out to bars?
No.
I had a Match.com thing. I didn't do Tinder because I heard that Tinder is like a hookup thing, and I don't get any value out of like a hookup. So I am looking. Nobody wants to be alone, but I think it's a lot to ask of somebody to want to participate in a life like mine that's very public, and I have so many dogs. And so I think that, and then my personality in general, I'm not necessarily the most like typical, like submissive, you know, soft-spoken woman. So I think that maybe, I will say, I think with the right guy, I actually tend to be that way. I think when you're with the right person, you kind of fit into that mold. But yeah, it just hasn't happened. So, oh well, it is what it is. You know, I think that some people would probably want to use that to, I've had some people comment and be like, oh, I could only imagine dating her. She's such a B word, blah, 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 whatever. But I've seen women that I could hardly stand to be around in that regard, that had no problem getting a man. So I really don't think that's the problem. But whatever. Someday, I'm sure he's out there. And if not, whatever. I make my own money. So
she gonna find a man. She already got a baby. No, she's gonna get herself a man.
Yeah, a real man.
And is Jade Omega? Sure, I guess. I don't know, guys. You see my pack. They're weirdos.
Gosh, my dogs are out there barking like crazy. I'm telling you, man, they are literally off the chisane tonight. Okay. Do you speak a lot on temperament? Do you temperament test your litters? No, I don't temperament test my litters. I think that kind of stuff is for people that don't know how to assess temperament naturally. So they need a method to kind of tally it, to know. I can look at a puppy and recognize what that dog's temperament is just based off observation. So I don't need to do any kind of testing in that regard. But I can understand why people do it.
Breeders, you do it long enough. Most breeders, in my experience, and I've been in the breeding game a pretty long time. I'm a lot older than I look. They can tell. You get to know what you produce, and you can read those puppies, those litters. You know exactly what you have temperament wise.
So, like, for example, I had oh baby, will you make them some puppy mash? Give me kisses.
Pet insurance is great. If you have one pet, 2 pets, get pet insurance. It's great. If you don't have, like, you know, the means, if something were to catastrophically happen, to cover your pet,
Yeah, I'll go make him some puppy mash.
get you some pet insurance.
I can't. He's going crazy.
It's okay.
Yeah, I named mine after Mortal Kombat characters. I love Mortal Kombat. I'm a nerd like that. Look at the baby puppy. Look at that puppy.
That's like a preacher lookalike right there.
That is so cute.
Mama, I think I have to try food.
It's a little black one. Is that all black, Rachel?
No.
Is it all black?
Exactly. Is it all black? Because if it's not all black, I don't want him. He has one of the things I love the most. He has little freckles in his white. I love that.
Mama,
Oh yeah, that's so unique. I love that too. A little ticking,
Yes.
in the white.
Yes.
I have to shred up food. It's gonna be really loud.
Can you do it in the other room maybe?
I guess.
Thank you. So yeah, so I'll give you an example though on that question that they asked earlier about the temperament. So Nirvana, I thought maybe she was shy, like I was watching her, and so whenever she would be in the kennel or in the whelping box, she wouldn't come up and really associate herself with me. She wouldn't come to meet me at the whelping box wall, and there were some things that she would do that made me wonder, okay, is this a shy dog? So I tested it. I brought her out and just kind of let her hang out with my dogs, with me. And it was very clear, based upon her behavior and that observation. Cashmere, no, it's my puppy right now. That in fact she wasn't shy. So and she was just more observant and more calm and, you know, just kind of reserved, which was a good thing. I like that. She's actually a very intelligent dog. When I let her out to go to the bathroom, she goes immediately to the door. If I have her out running around, she goes to the door when she needs to go potty.
This puppy's more chill.
And
this is the biggest one of the litter.
And then oh god, he's walking away. And then whenever I bring her in, she goes immediately into her kennel and sits down and waits for the door to shut.
Hold on, make sure you
so
Does he have a puppy? No.
so anyway, so in that regard, you know,
What food do they eat, by the way?
the performance, the purple bag. So in that regard, she's a really, really great dog.
Xavier Martin, thank you so much. Can a breeder lose AKC registration for misbreeding dogs? Asking because I hear a lot of designer dogs and puppy mills with purebred dogs. So a lot of those dogs are not AKC registered. And if they are AKC registered and AKC finds out that there's crossbreeding going on and they're indeed not purebred dogs, the quality has nothing to do with anything. As long as it's purebred, it can be AKC registered. But if AKC does find out, in fact, that it's a designer dog, that person will lose, I think, all eligibility as far as registering dogs from then on. AKC does not play those kinds of games. Thank you, Caroline. Considering getting a Borzoi, any thoughts or tips on sight hounds? Also, just want to say I admire you so much, toughest woman on YouTube. I think that's to you, Rachel. Rachel knows a lot about those sight hounds, so you just go right on with your bad self, girl.
I think the Borzoi is an awesome looking dog. Personally, I've never trained one. I've seen them at dog parks. They tend to be really cool. The thing you have to worry about, or watch when you're working with a sidehound is that if you have them off leash and they see something in the distance, they'll take off on you. And so you need to be prepared for that, you may need to have like, oh baby, you may need to keep them leashed.
Hey, Haley Rodriguez, the bomb. I like that, the bomb. Hey, y'all, I'm getting a Siberian Husky next year. What's one thing I should know before getting one? We'll know that they're very different than many dogs. Their body language is different. Their vocalization, the way they communicate is different. They're dogs that you will wear on your clothes literally year round. Their energy level, if you don't meet their exercise requirements, they can be very destructive. They're escape artists. There's a lot about Siberian Husky. I tell people, really think about it. Just don't do it for the blue or the party colored eyes and the fluffy coat. Do it because you have an active lifestyle and you really appreciate the northern breeds because they are very unlike a lot of dogs. And they're not people pleasers. They are not people pleasers at all. They have minds of their own. Any given time, I mean, they're not like the sit, stay, I'll take a treat from you type of dog. And that's what you have to understand. But as long as you're an active person, and they're like clockwork, so I can say that it's really good to be a very scheduled person, and you have that type of lifestyle and the patience for Siberian, why not? But really, really think about it. Really think about it, Haley, because my family bred Siberians for a while. They're my heart breed. I love them to death. But even my life situation changed, and I actually have a Siberian named Cal, and he's in retirement at my parents' house. He's 13 now, because he's just not into the Cane Corso. He hates them. He'd rather be under the bed pouting for days than coming out with the Corso. So really, think about it, evaluate your lifestyle, and then if your lifestyle and your patience is good, get one, but I don't recommend them for everybody.
Do you think that'll be enough, Mom?
I would put some more water in there.
No, I haven't put any water in it yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry for rambling on about Siberians, guys. They're my heart breed, and it's devastating to see people get them, and then they turn about 6 months and they get tossed out because they're a little more than what was expected.
So somebody's asking me which behavior should I not tolerate in your 9-week-old puppy? I mean, I would need to know what behavior the dog is exhibiting to tell you what behavior that you shouldn't tolerate.
At 9 weeks, I mean, they're mouthing, maybe, like mouthing, they're mouthing, but I mean, that's really the only thing I could think of.
This is such a cute puppy. This is a cute puppy. Sorry, you guys.
That is a cute puppy. I need me some puppy love, and I'll give it right the hell back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Baby. What did your baby?
This is a midnight look-alike. She's a black double tap.
Ooh, the puppies are barking out there. Here.
Who do you guys like more, J-Lo or Shakira in the Super Bowl? I thought Shakira's energy was off the chain. They were both great, but J-Lo's body at 50, holy moly. Like, if I look like that at 50, they both did phenomenal. Can't take away from either one.
I didn't watch it. My bad, y'all.
They were twerking, Mama.
We're twerking. They were twerking.
Not very uncommon.
If I come for you on this live, on the live chat, guys, just know it's my phone.
Are you serious? Is it
it's
just randomly doing
people.
that?
It's a salty.
Girl, you better put your phone away. You better muzzle your phone, girl.
Muzzle it.
I'm trying to read the live chat.
You better get somebody
Hey,
else's
Julian,
phone.
thank you. I don't think she's pregnant. If she is, she may have a singleton in there. We'll find out in another week and a half.
Singleton?
JT, girl, we look like that at 50. Holy FH.
Girl, you gotta pay to look like that. I'm sorry, but that's not for free, honey. I don't care.
That's a pay.
Yeah, I don't care how much you work out. You gotta pay. You gotta pay to look like that.
Girl, if I could get on a pole at 50, let's just say that. I can't even get on a pole in my dirty 30s. I'm afraid.
So, somebody asked, oh baby. Somebody asked, will Admiral / Batista eventually take alpha position over Preacher?
No.
And how much does Batista weigh? Will he get bigger? So, no, they won't. So in order to take a dog's position, for the most part, like if you have a true alpha, in order to take that position, that dog needs to be challenged and then beaten. And I don't allow that process to take place. So even if a dog wanted to do that, I would never allow it. And so they would just kind of have to get over it. Having said that, they're both actually really submissive to Preacher. I think, no, it's good. I think that I do a very good job of really monitoring their interactions and not allowing any type of challenge or competition. Baby, you're sleepy. I think that really goes a long way for it. And so, and it kind of, it keeps them in that, because really the true alpha is me. So if I'm allowed that process to take place, then it never gets to that point. And Preacher is a true alpha. He's not going to tolerate any nonsense. So in order for any dog to take that position from him, they would have to fight it out. And everybody knows in my house, if you want to fight, you got to get through me first. That's just the way it works. And nobody wants to take on the top dog.
There's still talk about J-Lo.
Oh Lord.
Do y'all remember that movie? Was it the Stepford Wives? I can't remember.
Oh God,
but it was one where they were like young for like a long time, and the face started cracking. They were fighting.
No, that was Death Becomes Her. That's a really good one.
Yeah,
that's Death Becomes Her. Yeah,
that's what J-Lo looks like she's doing. she's immortal.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she got up that pole.
I mean, if we all had that kind of money, we would all have our diet. You'd have a chef cooking you special meals. You'd have all them vitamins. You'd have a doctor, on point. You would have your plastic surgeon on speed dial. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, your personal trainer that comes to the house.
To stretch them legs and keep them limber. Because I was in competitive cheerleading. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That takes money. That takes work. That has to be your number. That is with them. That is their that is their number one priority. Look fantastic and sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Showing your legs can still go behind your ears.
Exactly. So Julian, Cashmere is going to be leaving in April.
So who's going to take her place?
Take her place?
Her alpha role that she has.
Blondie.
Really?
Most likely. Or possibly even Trinity when she comes in. There's no telling what Trinity's going to do when she gets here. Not Velocity, dude. I already saw Velocity in here the other day. Submissive to Blondie.
Trinity's turned up.
So.
Rachel ain't ready. Rachel ain't ready. She turned.
Yep.
She's come over here and she don't know how to act. No, she's so sweet. She's good. She listens. She's a little stubborn, but yeah, she dominates Jade all day. But then sometimes Jade is like, no. When Jade is just like I don't know. Jade is helpless. She's too nice. Do you think a Corso would do well in an apartment? If you had a Corso like Billy, who's small, sure, she'd do good in an apartment.
I think Corsos will do good in an apartment. I haven't seen them to have any like specific energy requirements. You should take them out, obviously, but I think they can do pretty well.
It's not the energy, girl. It's when you get a male that decides he's gonna eat your house down.
That's true. But me, I am the type to like do like I would take. In fact, there's a guy who used to be all over the groups. Maybe he still is, but he bought 2 dogs, 2 Corso from About Time County Corso. He has them in a truck, girl. He literally travels like he's a trucker, and he has his dogs with him everywhere he goes. And that's way smaller than an apartment.
I think I sold one of my dogs to a trucker, one of my Siberians a long time ago.
Yeah. Girl, that's shocking. I couldn't believe that. I thought they needed more energy than that.
Those truckers, girl, they get them out, they walk them. Like the trucking life is not a bad life. Okay. Caroline, thank you. What do you think is the most debated topic issue within the Corso breed? Thank you. That's sweet of you. The most debated topic issue within the Corso breed, I would say. You want me to say? I can say what my thought is. You say yours. So I would say American versus European, especially in regards to exactly breeding and health, and I would say maybe second to that would be correct temperament. I don't think that a lot of people understand what the correct temperament is of the breed. No, second. No. Well, I guess I can add to that the health issues. That's why I was saying health issues and related to American versus European, right? Because that's what they talk about. They always that tonight because it's the whole like drama. Yeah. Take up this entire session. Yeah. And you guys, we're thinking about. I think we're gonna offer some sessions where you pay in to hear the lowdown, the dirty. What you got to understand is that there's only one Cane Corso. There's only one Cane Corso, you guys. We should all be working towards the one dog. And the Italian lines are everywhere. The American lines are over there, overseas as well. You know, the American lines are overseas. And you'll be hard pressed to find like American dogs that are strictly American lines. Most of them have some European blood in there somewhere. So even if they say that it's American, a lot of times they're not. They have both. They may not be honest about the fact that they have American in their lines, but European stuff in their lines, but most of them do. So, you know. Somebody asked about Billy. So Billy was never a dog. She was never a dog that I was keeping back from my program. She was kind of a leftover from last litter, which never happens. And I don't know. It's kind of weird because she's a great dog. She's small, but she's great. She's very smart. Maybe it's because her ears are natural that people haven't. I think it's her ears. I think if her ears were cropped, somebody would have scooped her up already. Yeah, it was scooped up. She's a great dog. But yeah, she's just kind of a leftover. With that said, if anybody is interested, hit me up, because at this point it's all about placing her in the right home, you guys. It's all about placing her in the right home. So if you feel like you would be a good home to Billy, you're looking for a Cane Corso, or you want a Corso but you don't want a large Corso, hit me up, because she's definitely still available. Rachel and I actually have a story about that.
No, go away.
And I reduced her. Pretty good. Because it's not about the money, it's about finding her a good home.
I stole your popcorn.
But you want to tell them the story, Rachel?
No, go away.
About the woman in the UK.
Oh my God. So there's a woman in Scotland. Okay, that was a horrible accent. Sorry, that was unnecessary. So
I picked up Rachel.
I know. Way to start it off, Rachel. God.
At least
So,
part, like Williams. That was embarrassing.
Okay, so you are a bad dog, Batista. You know that? He almost ended this whole thing, y'all. He's a bad dog. So preacher, go away. So she contacted me a while back saying she wanted a puppy from me, and she was like, oh yeah, I want to place a deposit, blah blah blah, this and that. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. She filled out an application. I approved her based on the information she had provided. And then out of nowhere, when it came time to pay, she was talking about her husband having a heart attack. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm really sorry to hear that. Don't worry about it. And then she just kept writing me these, like, literally, like, these novels, these short stories, like this short story. And it was really killing me. And to have to, it's like, it's not to say that I am, it's not to say that I am like a, it's not to say that I am like judgy or whatever towards that, but I just have a lot going on and I really can't answer like every single, you know, email that comes through like that, you know what I mean? That's unnecessary. And so it kept happening, kept whatever. Then she would say everything had worked out, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, long story short, I just kind of stopped responding to her because I felt kind of like she was wasting my time and she wasn't serious. And so when I stopped responding to her, she contacted Reese and started doing the same thing to Reese, saying she wanted billing, everything to me, blah, blah, blah. When it came down to pay, same thing. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. She said, she said that, you know, I guess he'd had another heart attack. Maybe he got worse, blah, blah, blah. These long stories, these novels. And it seemed like maybe she just wanted our bank account information, as it actually sounded like.
Yeah, because when it got down to like payment, she just kind of disappeared on me for like 24 hours. And then I told Rachel about her, and Rachel's like, oh, I think that I actually had a similar situation with the same woman. And so she read me this email like about the woman's husband having a heart attack. And then the same night, the woman sent me the email. The dog has had, her husband's had a heart attack. She can't take Billy. And it was pretty outrageous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was pretty obvious that this person was not necessarily being the most honest. And she even tried to like guilt trip me for it. She's like, my husband had a heart attack and you haven't even responded. At what explanation point, as though like somehow like that's like I did respond initially, but I'm not going to respond to every single update about your husband, Bill. You know what I mean? Like I have my own life going on. You know what I mean? As much as it's not that I'm trying to be mean or anything. It's just that I'm sorry, but I don't know you. I don't know Bill. And, you know, I don't have the time to sit here and read these novels and respond to each and every one of them.
She said it was novels. These were long emails. And I even told Rachel before we realized we had talked to the same person that, you know, this woman was writing me long emails.
That's what made me realize it. When she said these really long emails, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I think it's the same person. Because people don't send me emails like that. You know what I mean? And I sent her she told me the name. I was like, yep. It was true. What would you consider an obese male Corso, and what's your opinion on the Doberman? Obese, depends on the dog. You can have a 120-pound dog that's obese if that individual was only meant to be 90 pounds. So
well, let's talk about condition. So when I see a dog and it sits and you see the, like, you know, the rolls that happen on the side, and they're just unbearably like over. And then when the dog stands, you don't see any tuck up. And then you see rolls on the shoulder, like big rolls. Your dog is too fat. Okay, when your dog has a muffin top and has no tuck up, your dog is fat.
Yeah, you should be able to easily see the ribs, like the last, I would say 2 to 3 ribs. You should be able to see them, not even need to feel for them. You should be able to see them, and not whenever the dog is like, it should be, you should be able to see it at all times, not when the dog is taking a breath in. Like I've seen like people that are like, if you have to search for it, if you have to wait for it, it's too big. You know what I mean?
So you should easily be able to run your fingers across the dog's rib cage and without really applying a whole lot of pressure, feel ribs, but you should be able, when that dog is in action, see the last 2 ribs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dog in good condition. The tuck up is the waistline. So your dog should have a nice, sexy waist.
Yeah.
You know what they call, like in our world, snatched? Your dog should look snatched. Yeah, but you know, and it's not very hard to monitor diet. If you're feeding kibble, feed the recommended amount on the back of the bag. Get you a cheap measuring cup, like just 1 cup, a cup. Don't put the 1.5 cups or the 2 cup. Put the 1 measured cup in the bag, you guys, and measure your dog's food that way. And if you have a small dog, put the tablespoon in the bag. Okay, put the tablespoon and feed the recommended amount. Make sure your animal gets 2 hours of exercise a day, whether it's playing in the yard or walking. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Exercise your dog. And if you do all that and your dog's still fat, take him to the vet and have its thyroid evaluated. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with
the blue shampoo and conditioner. So yeah, so
oh, she done walked out. Julian Angel, thank you. Rachel, are you stuck in your decision with breeding Trinity to Achilles, or might it change in the next 6 months? My opinion is to breed her with a younger male. Did you get that question?
So somebody, the person who's supposed to be here to pick up Pantera ended up getting confused about our time. I thought she was going to be here in the morning at 9:15, and looks like she's going to be here tonight at 9:15.
Whoa, tonight?
So
Okay, so we have like what, good 45 minutes?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to end in 45 minutes so Rachel can take care of business.
Sorry, y'all.
Is leaving. But Julian had a question about you breeding Trinity to Achilles.
You said Pantera.
Right, I saw that, Julian.
Opinion, yeah, you should breed to a younger male.
You said Pantera, right?
So so we Reese and I are focusing on some specific lines that we really like, because there's really phenomenal structure in those lines in Temperament. So that's why I'm doing that breeding. So young, like youth, really doesn't have much to do with it. Achilles is not an old dog, so he's still got lots of
Julian, come on. You seen Achilles back there acting like a 2-year-old puppy.
Yeah, he's got lots of life still in his goodie bags. So but I mean, really, really phenomenal dog. So for me, you really can't beat the structure right now. And that's why I really want to use him. I did look at that younger blue male, and I do like him, but there are things about his structure that make him a good partner for Trinity, unfortunately. And so as much as I would love to breed her to a blue male and have a bunch of really big, beautiful, you know, blue puppies, which I probably would get. I think the under the sink.
I already looked down there.
No, I don't know then.
Not under here. Or
I can't
You can
say
look there.
that Achilles has really good things about him. Of course, he's a little like what we would say on the hyper side, but he's got a beautiful top line. He moves very well. He's a very powerful male. He's a powerhouse.
His croup, his top line is really what I need right now. It's super important for me because it is more of an issue in Trinity's lines than it is anything else.
Yeah,
and he's really strong in that area.
He has a very impressive pedigree. His pedigree is very impressive. In my opinion, it's one of the best pedigrees that I have in my home.
Okay, so we're good. We don't have to end in 45 minutes.
Wait, what happened? They're coming tomorrow?
Oh,
Okay.
She she was just telling me that they're 15 minutes away, but not that they're coming right now.
Oh.
So we're good. We don't have to end.
No, Julian, dogs don't see each other as father, sister, mother. They don't interpret that in the same sense as humans do. That's humanizing the dogs. Achilles, if given, he would breed to his own daughter, and any dog would. So no, it's humanizing it too much.
I would say that the puppies do see that, like, they don't see it the same way that we do as in mother father, but they are naturally more submissive to their parents than they would be for anything else, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but a male dog, if a female is in heat, it doesn't matter if it's his daughter, his granddaughter, he will breed.
Yeah, and the female will let him too. Hormones are very strong. They will.
Yeah. I would be like giving you misinformation to tell you that.
It's true, Julian. I've seen that as well in documentaries. Female wolves of their offspring, they won't allow their father to breed with them. I've seen that. I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but I have seen that. So, yeah. Go away, Batista. No. You and your cone. You're not going to knock over my whole set.
Well, I mean, when a female's in heat, she's in heat. She's going to stand for, usually they will stand for the male.
Unless there's something wrong with them.
Unless something's wrong with them. So it's not like, it's just kind of humanizing the dog a little too much. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but it is kind of humanizing it. We're breeding traits and the better the breed, and the females don't really have the choice in whom they're going to get bred to.
Oh,
we don't care.
The females are
have to happen through AI.
Yeah, females are worse than the males. They are like, okay, so I'll tell you how bad it is. So Belladonna is going into heat. Preacher was sitting up on the couch. She ran up to him, laid next to him, and just spread eagle right in front of him. Just put it in his face. And I'm like, girl, do you mind? Telling her to go on about her bad self, but they're so bad. They try so hard to get the males to do it. They're worse than the males are, I swear to you.
Yeah, the females, what can I call them without getting us demonetized?
Hussy.
I got some huskies running around my house.
Dude,
I got huskies.
Go away. Get off my cord. Now, Batista, go.
And that is the truth.
No, I'm serious, man. They will literally. So one of the reasons that I found out, I didn't know this, but I found out that the reason my last litter, not this one, but my last litter before this with Cashmere was smaller, is because her hormones were so strong that she was trying to breed with Preacher. She was breeding with Preacher before she was actually at optimal ovulation. And so it basically made me have a smaller litter because not all of her eggs were mature. So it's so bad that it'll actually affect your breeding. You have to make them wait until the opportune time to make sure that you maximize your litter count. And maybe that's a good thing for some people. If you like, maybe you don't want to have a huge litter, then you let them breed before that. But, but yeah, it's it is, girl. The girls are the ones.
They're bad, and that's that's what I'm saying. They will inbreed. Domesticated dogs will inbreed easily. So and it's something as a breeder.
Randy
that's
girls,
why
I
we
like
have
that.
to separate and put the females up. You notice we don't really put the males up. It's the females.
Yeah, we put the females up.
But they will inbreed. So
yes, that is why I think Blondie's litter was smaller. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Somebody asked if my dogs are used to being around cats. I am extremely allergic to cats, so no, I don't have cats. So my dogs are not around cats.
Y'all, Batista is so cute right now. I can't help but
my girl dogs are hussies. If you want to see my female dogs, I have a channel, Spressatore Cane Corso.
No, get him, Savannah. Oh, she almost took it down, girl. She almost took my light down.
What?
Good girl, Blondie. Get that puppy, Blondie. Go get your puppy. Blondie, go get the puppy. Get that puppy, Blondie. You watch that puppy, Preacher. You watch him. Preacher's such a good dog, y'all. Oh my God, I love him so much. Good boy, Preacher. So the puppy was trying to come over here, and he grabbed him and put him down.
I think AKC allows male dogs to breed up until 12 years of age. I think it's 12 years. And so if your male is up to it and he's healthy, you can breed him up to that age. I think that Rachel is going to keep what is that dog's name? Aria and Preacher female.
I am. Yeah, I am. In fact, so you guys, in case you're interested, I'm actually going to be placing Atari out because of the fact that I'm keeping a puppy off of Aria and Preacher. So I'm going to be placing Atari out because we have so much of that blood already between the both of us that there really isn't any need to keep any more of it. So anyway, so if you're interested in that, let me know. I was going to be keeping her to breed with Preacher anyway, but since I'm going to be getting a puppy off of Atari's sister, there's really no reason for me to have her here because I've already got Achilles puppies and Blondie, and then I'm going to do it with Trinity, and I don't want to be oversaturated with it.
Let's see, what are some other... So Connor has been, thank you so much, Connor, hosting my channel. And I think it's Connor gone, or is he still here? He just posted it. Just go up a little bit and you'll see my channel posted, the Spressatore Cane Corso.
My headache's gone, Heather. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better now.
Can't you tell?
I know, right? I'm back, bitches. Oops, excuse my language. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Hey, Mama,
Yeah.
that David Lopez guy got a Cane Corso.
Nice.
I think it's a 40.
Nice. Very nice.
I'll show you.
No, I don't want to see it
What?
because it'll make me jealous he didn't buy one of my dogs.
No! It's a pretty dog.
Go away.
It's a pretty dog.
It's very hyper.
Come on in now. You're gonna see that now.
Y'all, that guy, the David Lopez guy, the one that does the funny vines, like I freaking love him. Anyway, he does the funny vines. He actually contacted me. He wasn't. What's weird is he wasn't asking me to buy a dog, but he bought a dog from somebody else. But he does follow me, which is cool. I was jealous he didn't buy one of my dogs. I'm like, bruh, you got millions of subscribers. Buy one of my dogs, bro.
Taylor, thank you. Any tip for upcoming first-time Corso owner? I've had dogs forever, but never a Corso. Can't wait to bring my mail home in the next month. You can answer that, Rachel.
What?
But thank you, Taylor.
Sorry, y'all. I'm being gross. Any tips for an upcoming first-time Corso owner? I've had dogs forever, but never a Corso. So I would say don't spoil them. Whatever you do, don't spoil them. It's the worst thing you can do. You can pet them, but only when they've like you want to reward good behavior. You don't want to give your love away for free, if that makes sense. And you do want to start training them right away. And teaching them boundaries and showing them you can do this, you can't do this, don't let them chew on you. If you get up from the couch or you move from a spot and the puppy comes and takes your spot, do not let them take your spot. Make them move out of that spot, okay? Don't let them do anything to try to take over your spaces, your things, and be very clear and concise about making sure that they do what they're told when they're told to do it. Very, very important. So, okay, Connor.
I really want one of the Velocities puppies if she decides to breed her. I can't wait to see the Velocity breeding either.
Yeah, me too. That woman better have puppies or I'm gonna be mad at her. Because she is so beautiful that I'm really hoping to get something very nice off her. Structurally, she could be better. She is strong in some areas, but her head is actually like very, very good. I really think that I can get something very typey off of her.
Heather, Reese, do you ever train with treats? Do you have the same mentality about it as Rachel? So I do agree with Rachel. I use treats when they're very young, kind of keep them interested and to keep it fun. But then I start to take the treats away, and they have to, get used to just the fact that they need to please me and do what they're told, which is totally different than Siberians. And but I do. Use what we call bait, which is using treats when we perform the dogs in the show ring, because it's a time where you really do need it. It really perks them up, and they do work for it, and it's a way to pull expression out of the dog. You can do a treat like a something edible, or you can do a toy, but whatever you need to do to get that dog's expression, you just have to do it in the show ring. So that's the only other time that I use treats. It's when they're performing in the show ring.
Is that the same,
my
Taylor?
dogs will not be in the show ring until next year. I may finish Katana's Grand Champion. She's 8 points away, which she would probably get in like 1 weekend or 2 weekends.
It's Taylor Lindbeck.
Petty and doesn't like the gate. But I would like to finish her grand champion if possible. Maybe this summer.
I don't think it's the same Taylor, y'all. The Taylor that is getting the puppy it has a different last name. It's Lindbeck. Everybody's asking if it's the same Taylor. No, it is you. Oh my God. Okay, my bad. I just saw different last names. You guys,
Just
Taylor's
make a liar,
here.
You just make a liar out of.
I know, right? That's my bad. That's my bad. I would have been more enthusiastic. I knew the last name and I thought, oh wait, no, that's odd. So under the description of the deposit, it does say the different last name. So that's my bad, y'all. I didn't read both.
Kaylin, so I'm owner handling now. So if my husband is there and if he does it, he usually takes video. I'll do some video of the dog, my dog's competing. Sure, it probably won't be until the summer, and that'll be if I take Katana to finish her out for her grand champion. That's if. Because like I said, she's super close, you guys, but she's just so petty. She's a petty female. She likes to stack out. She likes to give it all, her expression, but she doesn't like to date. She puts the brakes on. She's real petty about it.
Yeah, exactly. Taylor the goat. I love that. You know, the first time somebody called me a goat, it was actually, do you remember that? Do you remember who that was? Reese?
No. No.
Remember? It was that guy. That guy. The dude.
The goat.
Do you remember that guy that contacted me way early? He has like a huge YouTube, has like 2 million subscribers.
Oh, that guy. We
won't
speak of any names.
Yeah, we won't say any names, but there was a guy on the tube who contacted me. He's kind of a big guy.
He's a pretty big deal. Let's just say a millionaire.
He's a big dude, and he was wanting to talk to me. Okay, so
he was trying to get with her.
He slid into my DMs.
Between her.
But he was just so young. He was just too young.
He was trying to get in between her. Let's just be honest. He was like, Rachel, let me just slide and slither on over.
But he was just too young.
$1 million. He was finna to pull up in his G-Wagon.
He's just too young. Very, like, way younger than me. I couldn't do it.
He wasn't ready for no real woman. And that's what I told Rachel. He ain't ready for it.
No, he's just too young.
Girl, you go on.
But yeah, he's the first one that called me a goat. And I was like, goat? And I had to Google it. It's like, what's a goat? I was like, clearly he's not being rude. So what's a goat? Anyway, so when I read about it, I was like, oh, okay. Why, thank you.
You know, guys, it's like.
Thank you for calling me a goat.
But when you're a woman, you're our age, you want a man with some experience.
Age is definitely more than just a number, y'all. I've done it.
You don't want no little boy coming slipping in.
Yeah, it is definitely more than just a number. Go Blondie. Go Blondie. No. Go. Yeah, the last guy that I dated was 8 years younger than me. And it mattered. Maybe when you're like in your 50s, dating somebody 40 doesn't matter. But when you're in your 30s and somebody in their 20s is trying to date you, especially early 20s, it is a problem. You know what I mean? You're at a different time of your life then. I'm career oriented. I'm trying to save for retirement. You know what I'm saying? When you're in your 20s, you're trying to party. That's what I'm saying. You're trying to party.
Trying to play with these little boys.
So yeah, but it was very flattering. It was very sweet, very flattering. I had to tell Reese. I was like, "Do you know who this is?" And she was like, "Oh my god!" She knew who he was. I really didn't. She's like, "No way!" She called her sister. She's like, "You're not gonna believe this." It was so funny. But
it was funny. But yeah, when you get to our age, you want somebody that knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're done messing and playing around, and they're ready to be serious and put a ring on it. This guy was just.
Oh no! Is it doing it again?
He just has too much money. He's still playing around.
Is that noise happening again? Okay.
I don't think so.
Is it that high pitch?
No, it's not happening.
Okay, thank God. Okay. So anyway, all right. So how do you know when to put a puppy or dog in submissive posture? Whenever they don't listen and you've kind of like made it a point, like, hey, you need to listen, and then they're not listening, and then they kind of like, it's kind of like whenever a kid is like whatever, mom, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, where they just dismiss you, then you got to follow up, and you got to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to listen right now. And I can actually make them do it without even touching them, especially when they're puppies. So what I do is in the horse world, it's called snaking. So horses do it to each other. They don't put each other in submissive posture, but the actual physicality of the act, right? So you kind of get into a predatory thing. You get low and you kind of crouch and you do this direct eye contact, and you just slowly start coming in with this direct eye contact, just sinking, and then they're just like, and then they roll over. So that's how you do it when they're little. You use your energy and you just kind of like push them down with your energy, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Come on, guys, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Girl, are you drinking something that tastes good?
Me? No.
Oh, I thought you said
No, somebody was asking about who this person is, but I'm not saying nothing. You will not.
We really can't say. Yeah, this person's very young.
Yeah.
They, I would hate for y'all to bother this person, but
yeah.
Hey, Aaron, husband, if you are watching me, I need a cappuccino.
Let's see here. Do you ever stare at strange dogs? No. So there's a difference in doing that with a puppy that you own or with a dog that you own, where you can directly challenge that individual. It's entirely different to do it to a dog that you don't own. And in fact, that's actually one of the most annoying things to me, is when a person who's scared of dogs sits there and stares at my dog like this. It's like, Are you trying to get bit? Because that's how you get bit.
So it's just they catch on to that weird behavior quick.
Yeah, you can't do that. You know what I mean? So so I'll never understand why people do that. Literally, they're scared of the dog, so they sit there and just laser in on the dog, just like staring at it like this, and it's like, bruh, you're doing the wrong thing. The absolute worst possible thing that you could do. And what I do with my dog, so let's say, for example, that you are having somebody do that to your dog, and your dog's starting to get a little antsy, like, why the heck is this person staring at me like this? What I do with mine is I will give them a leash correction to get their attention, just a little leash correction, just get the attention. And then I make them lay down and completely ignore the person, like not look at them and completely ignore the person. Don't let your dog continue to make eye contact with that person, because there's bound to be a conflict, right? The dog is eventually going to escalate it, to maybe getting, like whining, or then they're going to start to growl. Maybe they do a anxious bark, and then that person then is going to be like, and they do that whole thing, and then you've got a whole problem on your hands. So just make the dog ignore them. And when the dog isn't looking at them and is kind of sitting and ignoring them, that makes the individual, like, usually they come down and they stop staring at your dog. Oh my God, Blair.
Blair is terrorizing the live stream tonight.
I can't have her out because there's so many cords, and they're so like, I literally have like cords that are tight, they have like air, and my cat, being a cat, will knock them over, because that's what cats do.
You guys, if I could have a cat, I like them werewolf cats. If I could if I could own a cat, I would get a werewolf.
You would.
Cat.
You would get those freaky looking cats. Hairless dogs and freaky cats with like weird human hands.
Rachel, don't judge me. don't judge me. I would love one. They're beautiful. I love them. And I like the Sphinx too. I love those too.
Savannah, will you grab me a glass of tea, please?
I think it's a saliva thing with the cats. I'm not
I don't
really
need
sure.
that.
Rachel knew, but I am highly allergic, and I'm kind of afraid to even try a Sphinx. It wouldn't be fair because I'm pretty sure I would still be allergic.
This literally just popped up.
Yeah, that is weird.
I know, the person made that really creepy.
Ugh.
What?
No, Savannah showed me a weird picture. Did you know somebody did some artwork of Arya? It's really pretty.
Yeah, Morgan paid for it.
Oh wow, okay.
Sphinx are so cute though.
I love Maine Coon.
Yeah,
They're gorgeous cats.
Yeah, they're so big and beautiful.
And I love the little
have
tufts on their
Persians
ears. Oh my God, I love Maine Coons.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
The only thing that I have a hard time with is that because I wear contacts, their hair always gets in my contacts. I've always had Maine Coons, and I haven't had the really bad, awesome ones from Russia. Yeah, the ones that look like actually like angry, mean little lion cats. Mine were like rescue cats from like the shelter that were like probably Maine Coon mixes. But the hair, it just somehow just gets in my eyeball and with the contact, and it's just like immediate level 10 pain. So I still have my cats. Obviously, I even have a somewhat long-haired cat, but for whatever reason, the hybrids don't shed as much as the domestics. Yeah. So my Highlander doesn't shed like a Maine Coon would, and that's why I can do it. But hopefully I'm going to be getting surgery on my eyes soon where I get like the contact, like the implant, or even LASIK, and then it won't be a problem.
Thank you, Bubble Fishes. I pretty much figured that. Yeah, I don't foresee myself getting a cat in the future, but they are beautiful.
She can't have a cat, y'all. Because like, so the thing about cats, like the allergy part of it is actually not in the hair. The allergy thing that most people are allergic to in cats is actually in the saliva. They have a particular chemical in their saliva, and when they lick themselves to clean themselves, when that saliva dries, that chemical gets up in the air, and that's what people respond to, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I didn't have allergies growing when I was a kid. It happened after an accident, and then I developed really bad allergies, and I have angioedema. So, you know, I play it safe. I play it safe. So, but anything weird and non-typical, like I love it. Like the tie wristbacks, yes, I love those.
Yep, we'll cut it off.
I love anything weird. I don't know. It's just who I am, and I am weird. You know, I'm a gamer, I'm an animator, I'm an artist. So maybe it's just the artist in me.
We're very alike in that we are both unique individuals.
Hey. Yeah, we're almost the same person.
Girl, we were talking today about our youth, and we had so many similarities that we didn't even know that we had, and we realized we would have always been friends. Like, you know how some people, they're like, oh, we would have hated each other when we were young. Not us. We probably would have gotten a lot of trouble together.
we would have, because we were like these things, and I know, like we said this before in a live stream, but we both at different times ordered the same comforter set.
We did.
It was really crazy online. You know, there are millions of options online.
Yeah.
Millions of stores. And
yeah.
we ordered the same one.
Yeah, we did. Crazy. We ordered the same comforter with no knowledge of each other's comforter. In fact, I showed her a picture of my finished room, and I was like, oh, I finally got my room finished, blah, blah, blah. And I sent her a picture, and she was like, girl, that's my comforter. And I was like, no way. It was hysterical.
Yeah, that's a picture of mine.
Somebody just contacted you asking for Giovanni. Giovanni's not with us.
Oh.
That was Savannah.
Reese, I have 3 Huskies. Any advice?
Hold on tight.
You brush regularly and make sure you meet those dogs' exercise requirements. We walked ours every day, 3 to 4 times a day, and I am not exaggerating. We walked ours, and it was always, our neighborhood was a mile walk, so we walked every walk was a mile, and we did different walks. We would do walks like outside of the neighborhood, in the neighborhood, and at the park, because they like to do different things, different stimulations, and we also let them free range play in the yard. So just make sure you're meeting those requirements, and you'll be all right. And kind of let them play with each other. I've always had issues socializing my Siberians with other breeds of dogs. They kind of like to stay within their own breed. I'm not saying that's true for all, but when you already have kind of a pack there, they do better together than out at a dog park, per se.
My bad, y'all. My ears were itching. Somebody must be talking about me. I cleaned my ears, girl. I have no shame. It's not there. My shame thing is missing. It's not present. I will do it.
You're fine. They didn't see me scratch my nose ring with my phone pen. Because I have my nose pierced and it itches sometimes. I'll just go right in there and just.
And I know they say you're not supposed to do that, but I do it anyway. And because I like to live dangerously. Just joking. But
girl,
what I do is to prevent, like, somebody was like, well, you'll get the cotton stuck in your ear and blah, blah, blah. So what I do is I take it, I look at it, I choose. So on every cotton tip, one end is tighter than the other. One's kind of loose and one's tight. So I look for the tight one. I take my tongue and I roll it on my tongue to make sure that it stays nice and tight. And then I clean my ear with it. That's how you do it, to make sure that it doesn't fall apart and you don't get that weird thing. Like it actually maintains its structure. And then you can have a pleasing ear cleaning experience. Lovely tips from Rachel.
Who's the girl on the phone, Brianna? The girl on the phone, would you ever get a dog or puppy? Who's the girl? Is that me? Am I the girl on the phone?
I don't know.
I have to laugh at that one.
Exactly. This is the real R&R, Terry.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. So, Rachel.
Yep.
To go along with the Siberians, even you have noticed that they're different.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Been out and about with your dog.
Oh, yeah. You guys. So definitely noticed a difference. They are, what I have found is that they're more expressive in their, so they really take the kind of pack thing more literally almost than a lot of dogs, if that makes sense. So like when they go out there, they won't have a problem, like actually like I would imagine them like, it's like, you think this is a game? You know what I'm saying? So they come out there and this is real, you know what I'm saying? So they get out there with that tail up and they come out and they're testing everybody and they're pushing, they're shoving, they're this, they're that. But having said that, on the flip side, they also have that kind of instinctual thing where they know that, like most wild animals, will avoid fighting. They'll do as much posturing and as much jostling about as they can, because fighting is detrimental to an animal's ability to survive. So they're
very primitive.
Yes,
behavior.
Exactly. So they're less likely to want to engage in actual like fighting. but more likely to engage in posturing and positioning. So it's a kind of a odd thing to watch. And so what ends up happening though is that behavior triggers the fight response in dogs that actually don't have that lack of wanting to fight, if that makes sense. So I told her, I was like, it's kind of like when you get into African cichlids, the way that African cichlids evolved is like the ocean got cut off into this like big lake basically. And all the fish were originally like the same species for the most part. And then over time they evolved. And so there's like two basically different groups of cichlids. There's the mabunas, and then there's another kind. I think it starts with a T. I can't remember. But anyway, they're highly aggressive fish on both ends. However, within those two subgroups of the cichlid groups, they actually can't communicate with each other. You cannot have them in the same tank because one of them sees the other one's communication as the opposite. So one of them is trying to communicate that it's aggressive. The other one is trying to communicate that it's being submissive. And so they end up clashing. You can't have them together. So I think that with the Huskies and the most other dogs, it's kind of like that. The Husky really isn't trying to fight. It's more posturing. It's communicating who I am and kind of their status. And the other dog thinks it's starting a fight with them. You know what I mean? And so,
and I always say, with Siberians, I always tell people get two. Don't just get one, get two. But you have to make sure you can handle it because they're not really, they like each other more than like per se, like a Siberian and a Corso. When you get two Siberians, it's special. It's special. So I always tell people get two, don't just get one. And if you have one, just one, the dog park may not be the place or doggy daycare to take that dog because they are different. And I did a video with my Siberians and my Corso, and you can see they segregated themselves. And it was on Martin Luther King Day too, which is ridiculous, but they did.
So I saw.
You could tell that
Sorry, I was gonna say I wanted to answer this Jessica Rose question. Would you ever rehome a retired female to someone in Australia, or if someone bought a puppy, would you hold it until the age restriction, which is 10 months old? So I couldn't hold a puppy that long, but I wouldn't be opposed to rehoming a retired dog, or say like a dog that I'm rehoming like that. I just don't.
Well, Atari is coming up on that age.
Yeah. So like Atari would be a good option.
Yeah. So,
and then
there are some that are available now if you're interested that can go to Australia.
Yep. And then Julian, Reese, you plan on breeding Melina to Batista when? Also, would it be so awesome to see y'all meet up and bring some of both y'all's packs together? How far are y'all from each other? That would be impossible. We could not.
Pretty far.
Well, and it's not just that. So, like, I can take a couple of my dogs into a dog park, but even I can't bring my whole pack. I can't. A pack. Yeah. Is going to operate as a unit. My animals are going to act as a unit. I even have to be careful whenever I do go who I bring, because some of mine they're just too close. And so if a dog was to like, I'll give you an example. One time I had Preacher, I had Velocity, and I had Midnight with me at the dog park, and a German Shepherd attacked Midnight, and Preacher ran up and was like on that dog like white on rice, right? He's like just, rolling him up into a ball. He didn't actually, these dogs they're not big on mouthing, like attacking. They're more like wrestlers in a way. And so he kind of like rolled that dog up, and then Velocity wanted to get in on it too. And so that's the problem. It's not that they will go and attack a dog together. It's that they act together. So if
Yeah,
a
they
dog
look
gets
out for each other.
exactly, so if a dog gets silly, then you have like, you know, it's like it's bad. And so and then to take a fully formed pack, you know, or a social group to somebody else's fully formed social group, like, oh my God, like it just would be, you're asking for trouble. You know.
And I have some members of my pack that aren't even, they're at odds, you know? So
yeah.
it would be, I have some very strong personalities in my pack.
Yeah.
And it's coming from, well, Achilles, he is one, he's very opinionated about other adult males, and my females have very strong personalities.
Yeah, because you would have like my alpha female and then her alpha female, and they're gonna meet in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you might as well, like, literally you are trying to gangbang. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what you got.
For war.
In my mind, I'm thinking that Offspring song, you gotta keep them separated. Like, it's serious.
That's
like
preparing for war.
You would never want to see that, y'all. Like, that would be like, it would be YouTube viral, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
So,
and if y'all have watched my channel, you have seen my dynamic, and you have seen Achilles. You have seen him, and Rachel has experienced him.
Yep.
And even she recognized it. So I don't think that could we bring maybe a couple dogs together? Absolutely. I have some, if I separate from the pack and we're on neutral grounds, it'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I do too.
You know.
I could probably bring Blondie. I could bring Belladonna. You know, Preacher's pretty neutral. I could bring him. I could not bring Cashmere. Even Velocity would be, you know what I mean? And Batista would probably be fine. I could probably bring him. He's a big old doofus. Admiral, I could probably bring. It's usually females that are the problem, to be honest with you. And males can be, but my males are pretty dang chill.
And somebody asked wonder why Billy is so small. Well, typically, Rachel will tell you my guys are pretty sizable. And when you're breeding, you're not breeding necessarily all the time what's sitting in front of you. You're breeding lineage. You're breeding what's behind those dogs. And I think what happened in this litter, this repeat litter out of Achilles and Katana, is that I threw some dogs back in the pedigree that are Italian dogs, from the Italian side, that were smaller, because the Italian dogs, you guys, they are not big dogs. They were not big dogs. What would you say typically they were in size, Rachel?
So I would say that back in the day, males were usually anywhere, like a big male was like 120 pounds. And we know this because they actually, whenever they were doing the breed, they actually took measurements of the dogs. And so I was actually even able to find Bazir's original measurement card, and you could see how much he weighed, how tall he was, all that stuff. You know, people typically want to size up. So there are quite a few lines that are a lot larger now, but there are still many lines that are actually quite small. I wouldn't say small, but, you know, small for what we consider to be a Corso. And some that even like the smallest ones are like the Della Porta di Pinta. Those are super small dogs. I mean, we're talking like 20 to 23 inches, you know, 70 to 80 pounds kind of dogs.
Yeah, and so I threw something that, like, some old stuff from back in the lineage. I think from my female side, even though genetically for about 3 generations they're bigger dogs, you always have the possibility of throwing anything. So I threw, I think, about 5 generations back into the small Italian stuff, which I can say that Billy has super nice structure. My dogs usually have very good structure. But she's just on the smaller size. It happens.
It's a sleepy baby.
She's still a really cool dog, very smart. And she vocalizes like a gremlin. I love it. She goes, I love you. She says, I love you.
Oh my God.
We used to do that with our Siberians because they talk so much. And you could actually train them to say little things like that. Like they'll vocalize it. And so I have Billy doing it now. I have to get it on video one day.
She's so sweet. Okay, take her back. She's so
She's making me
sweet.
jealous. I want a puppy.
This is such a sweet, sweet little puppy. So look at that sweet, sweet face.
Like midnight.
What did your sweetness? So sweet.
Oh.
Oh. Ah.
She just wants to eat it.
Did you ever seen something so cute that you're just like, I want to eat you? Oh, who watched that? Who watched that Eliza Schlesinger comedy thing where she was like talking about like the babies, and she's like talking about like the fat little baby legs. she's like, can I just pinch your baby's leg? And the mom's like, absolutely. And she's like, ah. It was one of the funniest things I've seen because it's so true.
You guys, my phone is back on the assault. I'm sorry, Heather.
Oh my God, girl.
So Rachel, Janice Martin has a question that was asked on my channel, and I thought it would be a good one for you because she has a disrespectful puppy.
Disrespectful puppy.
What's the question?
If I didn't delete it, this is trifling, guys. I'm sorry.
You better quit it. You better quit it.
My Cane Corso puppy keeps being aggressive every time I try to correct him with the mouth bite. He tries to bite me and growls.
Yeah.
What should I do?
Oh, she got a tough one. So, so I would say that, with a puppy like that, you may need to really amp up your training with him. And you may need to like put him in submissive posture and you have to kind of be patient and you have to just make him stay there. You know what I mean? You don't want to immediately go to the mouth bite. You really want to like put them in submissive posture. I do the mouth bite as a secondary thing. So I put them in submissive posture, then I do the mouth bite and I just, and I put them down. And so, and if the dog continues to try to get loud or whatever, like, it would depend on how old the dog is. I would say for her to give me a call and to, you can literally tell her to give me a call and I can help her with that. But those kinds of dogs, can be tricky, and because it really depends on where the dog goes. So basically you can't let the dog, anything you do, and this is for all of you, like when you're giving a correction to a dog like that, your correction needs to be, your correction needs to be a level, one step above the dog's, right? So you can't come at a lower level because the dog's just going to be like, they're just going to be like, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? Like you're coming from a weaker point. So you can't be weaker than the dog. You actually need to be one step above. No, Blair. But anyway, I would say, give me a call. Like I said, if the dog is older, one of the things that really helps with that is when you take them out and you start doing obedience. You want to start trying to teach the dog to do the right thing and to encourage them to be motivated to work with you, not against you. Preacher was a butt like that. He growled at me all the time. Like it was nonstop until he was around, I don't know, like maybe 4 months old. He just had the worst attitude. And so one of the things that I did with him is I kind of did where you play hard to get. So I did not just give him affection. You know what I mean? I basically ghosted him. I fed him. He needed to do what he was told to do. And other than that, I didn't go giving him affection. If he wanted affection from me, then he had to earn it, and with good behavior. So it's kind of a way of taking that role back, keep them off your couch, keep them out of your areas, and start working on that obedience. You need to start teaching that dog to be tuned into you and what you want it to do and listening to that. And so anything other than that, she can give me a call and I can try to help out.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, playing hard to get works with dogs too. That's one of the worst. One of the things you can do with these dogs is one of the biggest things I've seen people do is they give these puppies a lot of affection. They love them. They think they're cute, all this stuff, and they give up their power. Like, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Cashmere does not go around being affectionate with everybody else. They come to her. They give her affection. So when you're constantly giving affection to a puppy, you are actually playing the role of the submissive one. So it doesn't always matter. It's not always a big deal. You can get away with it if you have a dog that isn't naturally super dominant. But if you have a dog that is, then you have to watch out with that. And you may, in fact, have to behave in a way with that dog that you really don't want to. You may have to be more aloof and more sparing with your affection in a way that you may not want to be, but that's actually what that animal needs.
Yeah.
So somebody keeps asking about Admiral's faults. Admiral has a shorter upper arm than he should. And his head, his muzzle is
a little divergent.
Yeah, a little divergent, and it might end up being a little narrow. There's no really telling yet. He's very mastino. He's pretty wet, but he may grow out of that. He's super young, so there's really no telling what he'll do with that. But other than that, he's a really good looking dog. I like him a lot. He's got a lot more good things about him than bad, for sure. He's got great length, great bone. He's got great rear angulation, and great temperament. Other than the fact that
he's still young. He's still young. You're not gonna really see him in his greatness until he's about 3.
Yeah, he has a long time to go.
Yeah, he's gonna take a while. When you're breeding these Corso, it's all about patience.
Mm-hmm.
It's patience. There are some things that it's obvious they're not going to grow out of, but a lot of the times you just have to be very, very patient.
Yeah, and he's not going to be a super tall dog. Not all Corso are tall. Usually when they're as thick as he is with the bone that he has, usually you get tall and lanky or short and stocky. And I won't say short. He's not super short, but he isn't as tall as, say, Admiral, who is coincidentally lankier. So you kind of have to pick your poison on that. But I like Admiral. I really like his pedigree. I will be very happy whenever I get his breeder said he's going to be sending me his paperwork. It was supposed to be expedited on Monday, so we'll see what happens with that. But I need to get his health testing done, and then once that's done, then we'll be able to use him.
He's going to be an excellent stud. He's off of some amazing lines. Somebody asked if there's a real alpha between Katana and Melina. Does the rest of the pack respect one more than the other? I mean, who would win the battle? Melina. She would win the battle ultimately. But who's more dominant than the other? They both equally feel the same way.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's just. I mean, what would you say, Rachel?
From what I've seen, I would say that Katana is actively dominant. From what I've seen, Melina is just kind of trying to play and kind of just do her own thing, but Katana tends to want to actively put Melina in check. So it seems like they're both kind of, Melina thinks that she's on the same ground as Katana, but Katana thinks that she's above Melina. And
what happened, you guys? I've had to knock Melina down a few notches. I had to bear the hammer on her.
Yeah.
Or she wouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
It's come with work.
Yep.
With her. So
somebody asked me which of my dogs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Dogs has the best structure right now. Nirvana. Definitely Nirvana. I mean, Batista may very well mature into that, but Nirvana actually right now is a very, 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 very nice dog. She has a great upper arm, great length, great rear angulation. There's just a lot to like about her structurally. And I think her head is actually going to be really nice too. I wish that her mask was darker than it is, but you can't have it all. I love her temperament. So, for me, Nirvana is my, she's my hope, and she's my big thing right now. And I'm hoping that she really, is everything that I'm hoping she keeps it together. These dogs can kind of fall apart if you're not careful. So I'm hoping that, that she keeps it together.
Yeah, they fall apart typically and they come back together. Then sometimes they fall apart and they don't come back. Mm-hmm. That's why it takes patience.
Yeah.
And you really have to keep them a while before you know.
Yep.
Somebody asked about, it was a good question. Oh, what is health testing and what are they testing for? So, every breed has what I would consider like health risk. And our breed, orthopedics is a big thing, especially any large breed. So in our breed, we typically health test for the hips and the knees. And they're looking for laxity. They're looking for wear and tear in the joint. They're looking for a number of things in the x-ray. And really, honestly, we health test because we need to know moving forward in order to breed healthier orthopedics where each dog stands in their orthopedics. So it's very useful. Every breeder should health test. In our breed, I think the hips is very important. If you have to do more, hips, knees, and heart.
Yeah, and I will say that I know that in America, health testing is an area where a lot of breeders like to they like to criticize each other on, where they'll say, oh, well, like you only tested this and this or blah, blah, blah. And the reality is that it becomes like a competition. So yeah, sure. I mean, you can health test the eyes, the heart. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. But on average, most people do the testing that is a prominent issue within that breed.
In their breed.
Right.
So Siberians, like it was eyes and it was the orthopedics, or because they're a dog that they run miles. So it's very important that the orthopedics are healthy. And then eye issues run in the Siberian Husky breed. So we always check eyes. So it's different for every breed. And in smaller dogs like Chinese Crussets, it's eyes and patellas. They don't even really test the hips. It's eyes and patellas. Yeah. Because they suffer from luxating patellas. So it's different in every breed. And, it's one of those things where Rachel and I have talked about it off and on. And it's just a part of a dog. We're looking at the whole dog, and that's just a piece to that puzzle. And what else does that dog have to offer? Yeah. So that too.
Somebody said, should I get my pup health tested? Because I don't think the breeder did. Honestly, think she was doing it for the money. which I wasn't aware of at the time. So I've seen people say this before. It is a misconception that a breeder should health test a puppy. That's something that you do when your dog is older. A breeder cannot health test their puppies for you because they're too young for any type of health testing. So a lack of health testing on your puppy does not indicate that the person's in it for the money. Now, if they're not health testing any of their stock, any of their breeding stock, then that may very well be an indication. Not entirely, because some people don't even believe in it, but it is a potential indication. What I will say is, like in Europe, even the best world champion breeders over there, all they do is test the hips of this breed. Now, having said that, if I got notification that I was producing puppies with heart problems, would I start testing the hearts of my dogs? Absolutely. If all my dogs, like we have it on all of our contracts, these dogs have to go see the vet. You guys know when you take the dog to the vet, what do? They check the heart out, right? So if we're not hearing anything about the hearts and the hearts are checking out fine, then there's really no reason to be going and doing that. So it's kind of,
if you just purchase a pet, there's no reason to health test that pet unless you're breeding or unless you see that something is wrong with the dog's orthopedics or heart, and then you can have it tested. But we as breeders, we know more about the health testing than just the health test. It's a lot that we look at when we get those results.
Yeah.
And it's not all we go by. But as the pet owner, unless you see your puppy is struggling, there's no need to have your puppy health tested.
Exactly. Somebody asked,
sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, you're fine. What made you choose the Cane Corso over the Borbal? I think it's Burble.
Borbal.
I was looking at the I always call it South African Mastiff because I can't pronounce it. I was looking at them, and one of the things that I noticed was in all the groups that there were a lot of owners that have been bitten by their dogs, much more than any other group that I've ever seen, or any other breed, pardon me, that I've ever seen. And it was troubling to me because there is obviously going to be within any breed a certain amount of, or a certain percentage of dogs that are going to bite their owners because the owners shouldn't really have that breed. They're probably submissive or, weak-tempered people. And the dog is basically issuing correction to them because the dog thinks that it's more dominant. But the sheer number that I was seeing actually made me worry. And then on top of that, they were going through a controversy at the time involving black dogs. And I spoke with a guy that's been breeding them for almost 50 years. He lives in South Africa. He said there are no black ones. And one of the things that I noticed was that when you look at the black ones, they do look like they're mixed with Cane Corso. And sure enough, the same people that were breeding those black ones, coincidentally, would also end up producing off of those dogs blue ones and, funny enough, blue and tan, like what you see in the Corsos. And black and tan. And what that told me was that these people with these South African Mastiffs probably took Corsos with American lines and bred them to these South African Mastiffs, and they're producing the same colors that you see in the American lines of Cane Corso. And so, unfortunately, it happened so much that breed was already so rare, especially here, that it was kind of a mess because the very few people that did have pure Burbles or South African Mastiffs, like the fawn ones.
Dog. Like the ones that I've seen in the AKC show ring, they're watered down. And I don't know how they were able to water the temperaments down. And I don't know a whole lot about South African Mastiffs, but I do know that they are serious dogs.
Yeah.
Very, very serious dogs. Like they're not even dogs that are really, you're able to be touched by like a judge. So to see that, I don't know what's going on, but they're definitely watered down over here from what I've seen.
Yeah. And so the people that did have them that had the correct type and lines, they were so stringent with their dogs, and they would only sell to each other, that there was bound to be an issue with genetic diversity because there weren't enough of the dogs here at all anyway. And I actually heard that from other breeders, that it was a real problem with them. So that breed had a lot of problems, and I didn't want to get involved in a breed that already had so many problems in such a small population. So the Corso, while it does have problems, very actually similar to that, but not exactly, like we don't have the lack of genetic diversity like they do. It was actually workable. You know what I mean? Whereas I didn't feel that it was with the South African Mastiff.
And thank you, Julian. I plan on getting a male, hopefully soon. I'm very excited, and I'm kind of one of those, like I wait until I get what I want. So hopefully it's soon, but we'll see. Once the litter is born, the breeder and I will evaluate, and we'll see if any of them fit bill for what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for very specific things in the male that I'm trying to bring in.
Mm-hmm. As far as, I guess somebody was like talking about the showing and stuff like that, we will be showing more of our dogs. I think that both of us have a very good understanding of structure, and we don't need the validation of a judge to kind of validate for us. Having said that, we do want to participate in that, but I think that both of us recognize that there is a lot of politics in that world, and there's a lot of, weirdness, I guess you could say, and I think that it can be a put off, at least for me.
There's a lot going on in the show world, and personally for me, if I bring something in, I want to bring something in that I 100% believe in. I think when you bring a good dog in, at points it's definitely on a percentile type of thing, undeniable. And you can breed like Preacher. He was bought in. He finished very quick. He finished quickly. It was undeniable. Katana was bought in. She finished 10 months of age and with grand champion points to her name. So for me and her, I think we're just trying to bring in something that's something to marvel.
Yep. Yeah, we don't want to bring something in unless it's very, very correct. Because it's just really no point. That was what the purpose of it was to begin with. It wasn't just to have a ribbon on everything that you have so that you can try to validate yourself and your breeding program. It was supposed to be to show the best of the best, to compete your best against somebody else's best. And it has really, ventured very far from that now, where basically it's like you need to champion everything you have, which in my opinion defeats the purpose. I understand if you like it and it's fun and you just want to show your dog, and that's awesome. But
yeah, sure. Yeah.
But like when somebody says like how many champions are in your line, they're not asking how many dogs have you taken the time to have fun with and get out there and get ribbons on. What they really mean is how many awesome, better than everybody else's dogs are in your dog's line. And if you've just championed everything, and if the stuff in your line is a champion, but it wasn't necessarily the best, then to me, I don't like, it doesn't really mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like, I actually want to know that when I see that champion title, that it actually means that that dog was a superb dog. And there are plenty of dogs out there that have been championed, and they may take a year to champion because they're not so great, but they still get it in the end. To me, that is just kind of almost deceptive in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't personally, I don't find that to be a good idea. Just my opinion.
Yep, you're right. When do you plan on moving to Tennessee? Hopefully soon. She's not coming fast enough.
I know, you guys. Rachel. I've been waiting on Savannah to
the East Coast.
I've been waiting on Savannah to finish school, and I need her to finish school, and then also I have to get things in my house fixed that my dogs messed up. So yeah, so I just need to get that done. Honestly, I don't have to, but I want to because I want to get the maximum amount for my property as possible. So anyway, so yeah, so I just have to fix some things. You know, these houses, they kind of fall apart. Unfortunately, they're not built as soundly as they should be, as far as like the you know, the drywall or whatever, the cardboard doors. So so anyway, so I just have to get some stuff fixed first before I take off. But that's all. That'll happen. It's not a big deal. I'm waiting until Savannah finishes school. And then once she finishes school, I'll get those things fixed, and then I will put my house up on the market. I did get a notification that it was, I did not have it officially appraised, but I did, like, somebody sent me like an estimate on it. And I already kind of knew this. It's well above what I paid for it, what I paid for my house and my land. So, you know, I don't have to do those things, but like I said, I would really like to be able to get, because I don't want to have to be bargaining with people like, well, you know, that little spot on the drywall right there, you know, got a hole in the drywall right there. And it's like, okay, well, I want it all to be done. That way I can just be like, bam, this is what I'm asking for. You know what I mean? So yeah. And then I'm going to put my house up on the market, and I'm going to do one of these things where you basically say, you know, you have X amount of time, like I'll have X amount of time before I have to move out. That way I can then go to Tennessee, and I will already be looking, obviously, but I can go to Tennessee and then get that house that I'm looking for. That way I don't like have to sell my house and then have nowhere to be in the meantime between selling the house and moving into the new house, if that makes sense.
Are you guys going to Italy again?
Reese won't let me go this year. She's having bad feelings, and I have to trust her because Reese is always right. So yeah, so
we're planning something big though, kind of something that we need with our families. So
yeah,
we're gonna do something like a little family thing this year, but I think we'll go back next year.
And I'm dead serious, y'all. Anytime that I ever like procrastinated on anything that she says, and then I do it later, and she's like, Rachel, I told you to do this a long time ago. And I'm like, I know, Reese. Like, because she's always right. So she says she's not comfortable with it, and I'm not trying to die. So we're going to follow Reese's advice.
If it happened, I'm telling you, on the way down, I'd be like,
I should have listened to Reese. And believe me, we have those moments. You know what I mean? Like, so
that would be the last moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see us anymore.
Yeah.
I've been having some bad juju about it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. There's no way. Yeah. It's not. And she's flown more than me. I was scared the first time. So for her to be scared, it's like, all right.
I used to live overseas. I lived in Germany, and I've been all over the place. And I don't know, this time I just got like a feeling, you know, I just get feelings. And if we did go against my feeling, I would be screaming, Rachel, I told you so.
Yep. Rachel, I told you so. My Reese, my bad. I'm so sorry. Yeah. No, I'm trusting her. She's right. You know, like what's funny too is like, so that used to be me. Like I used to have, it's like going to be messed up, but my family used to have this nickname for me, Rachel Wright, because I always was like super researched and stuff. And I don't like to be wrong. So usually if I say something, I actually know that it's right. So that's why I can be, but Reese is more right than me. So yeah, so I got to give it to her. So she's literally more right than me, y'all.
I'm going to tell you guys, our trip over there, I mean, I hadn't been to Europe in like a while, but I kind of knew about some places going over, and Rachel and I had talked about it and planned it out. We're going to be very good matron women.
Yep. We're going to be very respectful women, okay?
Yeah, and it was still it was hard. It was a little intense. It was a little intense. That's all I will have to say about that.
No, it was something else, y'all. It was something else. You don't want to be an American where we were at. Let's just say that. In one of the places we were at, they were not very they were looking for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like they were trying to for us to get lit. Really? And we were like,
yeah, they were trying.
And we were like,
funny enough,
yeah.
We went to another part of the airport, and they loved the chocolate. You know what I mean? They weren't feeling.
Yep. It was embarrassing for me because I'm over here like they're all looking at her, and I'm like, Reese, and she's like, what, Rachel? And I'm like, girl, they love it. I was like, they are loving it. She's like, what? Are you sure? And I was like, girl, they are like loving it. And then we went to this one place where like I was trying to get some little shoes or whatever, and the dude was like trying to figure it out. He was like, you married? You got children? What's the deal? And I was like, oh girl, I told you.
No, but I will tell you that I'm clueless. I make people mad, I make people happy, and I never know why.
Yeah.
What's going on. Like I made all these Italian men, like older Italian men, so mad all the time. And I don't even know why. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yep. It's true. It's true. She did make them mad. I was like, Reese. Come on, Reese.
What is it? Was I too passive? Was I rude?
No, you were like you were indecisive. you were indecisive. She's like in her own world, you know what I mean? Just in her own world, just doing stuff. And this guy is over here just like about to erupt. And I'm like, Reese. And she's like, no, but I'm like, no, Reese, just take it. No more switching. Just take it.
But I spent so much money, you guys, that I kept putting stuff on the counter.
But literally by the end of it, this man made me pay for other people's stuff just to get us out of there. Literally. He was like, just give it all. He put it all on the counter, rang it all up, and made me pay for it. And I was like, yes, sir, may I have another? I just took off. I was like, we just left.
You know, maybe I'll just stay blonde for a moment, and then people will forgive me.
Can I just say, and I don't know, you guys, I love the blonde on her. I did tell her when she got it, but oh my God, like that's your color, girl. That's beautiful. Perfection.
I used to rock the blonde back in the day when I was real ghetto.
I love it.
Now, you know, I'm a woman. I didn't grown up and stuff, but I'm a county girl. You know, I'm a suburban girl.
Yeah.
I was just pretending, guys.
No, I love it. Honestly, I do. I absolutely love it. I told her when she first had it on, I was like, girl, that's your shade. And she's like, really? And I was like, really? It's like, you look beautiful in that. Not that her natural hair color is not phenomenal, but I mean, come on now. If y'all think this is natural, no, you got another thing coming. You know, we all have stuff that's a little bit better. I love the blonde on her. I can't pull off blonde. She can, but yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the blonde for a little bit. I think so. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Julian. More hack videos. I know I was gonna do one today, but you guys, I've been so busy. I can't tell you how busy. I had a contact exam, and you have to understand, I live an hour outside of town. So whenever I go into town to do things, I try to get as much stuff done. And like for example, Batista's vet thing was like almost 2 hours away from me. I had to drive 2 hours to the vet, 2 hours back. And then my hair, when I got my hair cut today, that place is about an hour and a half away from me. So it's I know, but I've been having the same girl cut my hair for years now because my hair is really hard to cut. It doesn't look like it, but I have thin, it's not thin, like my hair volume isn't thin. The hair strands are thin, but it's also textured. My hair is naturally like a curly wavy kind of thing. And so anyway, it's hard. My hair is hard to cut.
Your hair is beautiful, though. You
Thank
remind me
you.
of the woman from Evanescence.
I hear that so much.
What's her name?
I have no idea, but I know exactly. People say that all the time. People say that all the time.
I used to listen to Evanescence. I love their darkness.
Yeah, I can't do Sherman. I can't do any colors that are light. My hair won't lighten because my hair strands are so thin. If I try to lighten my hair strands can't take it. They break and won't absorb color. So I can only go darker. I can't go lighter, unfortunately. So I've ruined my hair enough times to know that.
You should try the blue tint.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that like where I used to do this thing back in the day, but it always fades and looks nasty. Where you do like the blackberry, so it's like it like looks black in the dark, but then when you go outside, it's like a really, really dark, deep red. I can do that, and it's gorgeous, but it always fades to this like dull kind of washed out red, and I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But it's beautiful. If that would stay true, oh my God, I would probably have that. Because red actually complements my skin tone, and then people might stop asking me if I'm gothic or something. Because with the black hair and being so light skinned, people think they're like, they think that I'm gothic or something, and I'm like,
you're
no.
so beautiful though, and let me tell you, my brothers are in love with Rachel. They argue over Rachel. That's their baby mama.
That's not true.
They love them some porcelain skin with the dark black hair. That's their type. It seems to be a lot of guys' type.
Thank you. I need that. That's so sweet. But we are both beautiful. So let's just get that out of the way, okay? So
Shay said that Reese Evanescence is actually coming out with a new album. I will be catching that. You know that I'm a Florence and the Machine fan. I love Florence.
Oh my God, you would, you hippie.
I love Florence.
You would.
Live, and it was beautiful.
See, that I will say that's the one area that we're not the same in is music. She likes the softer, like hippie, like she likes R&B, you know what I mean? Like I like R&B. I like gangster rap, like hard rock. That's the one area where I'll put on some. She's like, "Girl, that's some trap music. Who listens to that?" And I'm like, "Girl, I love it. It's my jam."
I ain't got no type. That is the only thing that I like. That's all I know.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, we are different in that area. She likes the, that stuff. Like I'm more of like I like the gangster. I like the hard stuff. I'm just that way. You know.
Guys, I listened to some country when I was younger.
I still listen to country.
What's her name? Martina McBride. I had her album.
Yeah.
And remember that song "Concrete Angel"?
Girl.
Do you remember that song?
Not by name.
Angel.
Not by name.
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, Remy Ma. Yeah, I like Remy. Somebody said Spanish music. Remy. I don't listen to I dated this guy from Mexico for like 4 years. And we used to listen to reggaeton, and it was like Daddy Yankee, and who else was it? I can't remember all their names right now, but yeah, I
love Selena.
I was listening to some reggaeton. So I did like that, and I do like it. I like the beats. There was this one guy that I really liked. He had funny videos. Like they were really funny. There was like one where the girls were like bleaching their mustaches, and they were like in this really like uppity upscale. They were like there was like this reggaeton video, and he was like,
When they
I can't. They were bleaching. I don't know. They were bleaching their mustache. Yes,
were they bleaching their
they
nails?
were, and it was like they're like sitting here, and then they go through this like it was like a I actually really liked this guy. Honestly, he was really really funny. His videos are really funny. It wasn't like I think it was like a lot of like Puerto Rican type music. I don't think that it was actually like from Mexico, like the artists. But anyway, I don't remember all of them, but I actually like that stuff. And there's even some actual Spanish. Sometimes I'll hear it and I can't remember. Anyway, it was so long ago, y'all. I'm talking about like something like literally over 10 years ago. That's why it's hard for me to remember. But that's whenever I like Nelly Furtado. She was another one. Nelly Furtado.
Oh, yeah, I loved her music.
Yeah,
that was some good music.
Yeah, she was another one. Anyway, I can't remember the one guy. Oh, Tego Calderon. He was another one. I liked him. I actually kind of had a crush on him.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, Despacito. Yeah. So anyway, y'all taking me way back. Y'all gonna make me pull up my Pandora.
She said bleaching their stashes. I thought she was saying bleaching their young.
No, girl, no.
Because I heard I heard people do that.
No.
This one is for Reese. Let me see if I can do this without assaulting this person with my phone. What are some of the things you look for when looking for a good Husky breeder? Also, what are some of the common issues with the breed? What should I look out for? So I would say that they're a pretty healthy breed. Most Siberian Husky breeders that are reputable do OFA. I'm not really sure if pinhip is really big, because back when we were breeding, it was OFA and the eyes. But some of the good things to look for, you have two type of reputable Siberian breeders. You have the type that breed the working dogs, and that's what they concentrate on. Then you have the people that are in the show community. But for the most part, unless you are getting from a puppy mill or an absolute backyard breeding case, there are a lot of good Siberians out there that are readily available. They're definitely not as hard to find as Cane Corso. And I wish I could name some kennels, but it's been so long, and I'm not sure if the kennels I would give you, if they're still operating. Email me and I can give you maybe some names. I can find out if they're still breeding or not. Somebody said Toby Keith.
Yeah, I like Toby Keith.
I like Toby Keith. Who else do I like? I like what's the people that did the pontoon, that song?
Oh yeah, girl, that's like new country.
Yeah, I like them though. I do like them.
So
I listen to everything. I listen to everything.
Let me see here.
Do you think Samoyed, Samoyed, and Cane Corso can be compatible breed-wise as pack mates? I mean, absolutely. If you got a Samoyed or Samoyed or in a Cane Corso and you raise them together, they would get along. But that there would be some differences between the two and how they communicate, but they'd be fine. I mean, is it the best compatibility? I don't think so, but would it work with no issue? Absolutely. Little Big Town. That's the group. Thank you, Cocker Mom. Thank you.
It was Calais 13. That's the guy. Calais 13. Yes.
Calais 13.
Atrévete. That was the song. I love that. I love that.
As you see, she
Y'all,
speaks the language.
No, I don't. But that's the one. It's like Atrévete. And then I'm not going to go anymore because I can't speak Spanish. But I love that song. The beat and every girl, I'm gonna make you listen to that, okay? Like, we're gonna be very clear when we get off this live stream. You're gonna listen to that song, okay? And you're gonna tell me, because I promise you, you will like it. You will like it.
I like music with a lot of substance.
You will like that song.
If it's not music with a lot of substance, it's just gotta be.
I had to find it, y'all. I had to find it.
It's gotta be.
Because now I'm gonna want to listen to it again, y'all.
Either it has a lot of substance or it's something I can twerk to.
Yeah, y'all are going. Oh shoot! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't get me demonetized. I'm trying to get a link to it, and I clicked on it, and it started playing. I can't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would sing it in my car, but come on now, y'all. We both know. I didn't know what I was saying. Okay, so.
What do you want?
I mean, I actually kind of did know, because my boyfriend at the time, he spoke Spanish, so he would tell me, and I would sing it, and he would laugh because he liked to hear me sing it, and he would be like, "So do you know what you're saying?" And then he would tell me, and I was like, "Oh, I really, I love that song, but now I really know why I like it, because I understand it." So yeah, it was really cute though. So anyway, so.
Locked Up Akon. Oh my gosh. That's like taking it back. I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
Oh gosh. They won't let me out.
What happened to him? What happened to him?
Okay, so copy link address. I had a boyfriend, y'all. I had a boyfriend, but he got deported. It was really sad. He got deported. He wasn't, he was not legal. He used to say, Mexican authentico. That's what he would say. That's what he would say.
Rachel, look at me. I'm giving you the face.
You are. My bad. My bad. You are.
Carlos, baby.
Yeah, Carlos. That's what I used to mess with him. I'll go up to him, Carlos.
He got locked up. They won't let him out.
We were really close. We even spoke for a while, after he left, but yeah. But anyway, it was funny. We used to joke a lot. Okay, all right, enough about that. My bad, y'all. My bad. It's not very often that you have somebody that you dated and you were really close. It's not like you broke up because things were bad. You know what I mean? So that's why I can talk about them like that.
When you're that age, you love them when they're dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Somebody's like, how about dating legal men? I didn't know when I met him. And he was so cute. He had that little, he was not a gangster, but he kind of looked like one, you know what I'm saying? He had the bald head, you know what I'm saying? He wore the Dickies, the little white, you know what I'm saying?
Rachel.
My bad.
He had the Dickies.
Girl, the Dickies, the white Nikes with the black swoosh, you know what I'm saying?
She is a thrill seeker. She's a thrill seeker, guys. I mean, I had a tankering for the dangerous life, and when it approached me, I was like, yeah, no, I'm counterfeit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Any thoughts on Zylos? I love them. I love the naked breeds. Yeah. I love anything weird.
Paula, this is the real R&R. There is no such thing as a TMI. So check yourself. Check it. Check it at the door. Okay. All right. So I got my British accent out now. I'm gonna send you this private message, Reese, on Facebook, and we're gonna listen to this.
I don't want to talk about Michael Vick tonight.
Oh,
Please,
Lord.
God, no.
Yeah, don't do it.
Tonight.
Don't do
it's
it.
over. I don't want to talk about it.
Yep, it's over. Yeah. So any updates on Scout? He's doing good. Haven't really heard anything about him. But I always hear about Midnight. So if anybody's wondering, she's doing really, really, really good. Let's see here. Maybe we'll get into that whenever we have time on the Two Thirsty Bees.
Thoughts on Commodores? I think they're pretty neat looking dogs.
They're dirty.
Yeah, it's a dirty affair. You have to soak them locks, and it takes days to dry. It's an affair.
I would not want one. I looked into them. You cannot pay me to take care of that mop. It's a mop. It's literally a mop. And it mops up everything. If you've seen them outside, oh my gosh, like in their actual area. Ooh.
I think that's why you don't see a whole lot of them. It's a lot of upkeep. I mean, if you love the breed and you have the best interest for the breed, and only get one if you can afford the grooming, or if you can do it yourself, you have time for it. Let's see. Did Preacher test any of your dates that you took back home? I imagine he knocked back. The only one I ever seen Preacher test out was Alex.
What?
Sorry for saying that.
How? What do you mean? Like test him, and like in what way?
Test out your dates that you bring home.
No. Preacher.
Doing a video, and Alex was like, "Preacher, no."
Yeah. So Preacher and Alex had a very contentious relationship. So like he would, and I am in no way meaning to be insulting to him by any stretch of imagination. I think there was even video of it. Preacher would indeed attempt to mount him. And Alex thought it was funny. They would like play, and I would always tell him like, dude, don't let him do that to you. And so Preacher and him, like, basically Preacher felt that I was like his human, and because Alex didn't present himself as like an alpha, Preacher kind of thought he could like tell him what to do. So like one time Alex had like went to give me a hug or something like that, and Preacher was laying on the bed with me, and Preacher like let him know that he was not to be trying to hug me. So and Alex and I really weren't doing well, as y'all know. We broke up or whatever, so I should have corrected him, but I didn't. So that was just me being petty. Don't do that. Don't let your dog growl at people, okay? Don't do as I say, not as I do.
Because it can get serious. What do you think about Bouviers? I used to groom Bouviers. My opinion, they're not my type of dogs, but they're cool. I like Bouviers, but I wouldn't own one. But I used to groom them. How is a new breed created? What does it go from being mixed to a new breed? So a new breed is created when there is a need for a certain dog with a certain purpose, which nowadays pretty much everything has been created as far as pure breed, as far as purpose is concerned. But it takes a while. It takes more than just mixing dogs. It takes a lot of studying and finding what breeds have the purpose you're looking for and go together. It's a lot that goes into that. It maybe for another live stream we can talk about it. But is there a need for new breeds? At this point, I really don't think so, but I could be wrong.
I personally think that we should perfect our ability to preserve the breeds we have before we go making a bunch of new breeds, personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we don't have a system set up to protect the ones we have currently. So every time you create a new one, in a way, you almost ruin one breed to create another, like what you saw with the pit bull. And that to me is slightly sad to see, and I don't want to see that. I would like also there's so much, like, for example, I can't even tell you how many people are trying to create their own new Mastiff breed, and they call it what they want to call it, but in reality they're all doing the exact same thing. They're just calling it their own name because they're hoping that they get that recognition of having created a new breed in their name. So you have
Today it was the North American Mastiff.
I saw that. I was like, really? Really? It's called a band dog, okay? Any Mastiff mix, band dog, okay? Band dog. They're all band dogs.
Yeah.
It's not the old, what was the other one too? What was that one guy that was breeding Neos? Like those big Neos. They featured him on that one channel.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what they were called, but they were so unhealthy.
Yeah.
They were so unhealthy. Like, when you produce a dog that is inevitably going to be like entropic, and they have large wrinkles and a lot of skin, and they're big and they're heavy. Yeah,
American Molosser.
They were for close combat.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Exactly, girl. Exactly. Yeah.
Girl, I was just like, why? We don't need any close combat dogs. We are not fighting Roman wars.
Yeah. And not to mention, they didn't look like that. Like, if you look at any of the original paintings and things like that, like, nobody from back then had the need for an oversized Mastiff that couldn't do anything other than sit there and look scary. You know what I mean? Like,
that dog would tire out without even have to bitten a person.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, exactly. That's like, you could run away from that dog and have it tire out. You could just run circles around it, just widening circles and wait for it to tire out. It's ridiculous.
That dog would just look at you
and
it'd be like, F it. I ain't got no more left in the tank.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I mean, the orthopedics are horrible on those. The skin is atrocious from all the wrinkling and weight that gravity had on the skin.
Yep.
It's just that was ridiculous. That guy is ridiculous. And if you see me and you hear me tonight, we are not in close combat wars anymore.
Exactly. Sorry. And regardless, like, if you really wanted something like that, the truth is a Malinois is going to be better for that than that big, huge Mastiff thing is. I don't know if you've ever seen a Malinois take a person down, but it's quite the sight to see.
Oh yeah, they can take, and they're not big dogs, and I mean, they take them down.
Yeah,
that's what they do. We don't need this modern day Mosler. It made me so unhappy for this person to think that's what they produce. I'm like, it's lies. You produce the dog that in your mind, in your dreams, is doing all that. It ain't in reality doing all that.
Exactly.
I don't even think the dog could breathe in the car without air conditioning.
That's what I'm saying, girl. Like, all you got to do is like wait for a hot day to do your you know what I mean? Your ambush. You're just, that dog is just going to be dying already. Just take away his water bowl when he's not looking. and then kind of run in the peripheral. He's gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be out.
That dog is out. I mean,
yeah.
Gracious,
it's
guys.
bad, y'all.
Like,
no, that's bad.
Wow, that man was tripping.
Yeah, no, but there is no better like personal protection, like close combat dog than a Malinois. Like literally, like they wouldn't be using them in the U.S. military if they weren't indeed the best for that. So. Like in it, people think size is the thing. You don't need size. Like I said, watch a Malinois take a person down, and they're very good at like they'll hit you, and then they do this like body swoop thing, and they just bam, like knock your butt down, man. Like you are not getting away. They'll rip your butt up.
By the way, Rachel, did you watch my last video? Did you see Katana body check Achilles?
No, but that's funny.
Girl. She came out of nowhere and just gave him the elbow, the side, everything, girl. And
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was pretty. I couldn't believe I caught that.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm gonna have to see that. I'm gonna have to see that.
That was close combat right there, because that's a lot of dog to push out the way.
Yeah. No, the people. Yeah. So I see you. 109-367. Yeah. I mean, you're just letting us know, but in the reality, there's another person who's breeding Merle, what is her name? Fort Molossers is what she's called. Forte. And anyway, she is like supposed to be breeding like the original Neo. And so there's a lot of people that are kind of doing these like restorative breed things. And I don't necessarily have any issue with like her breedings because they do seem to be like, okay. But there's a lot of people that are just like that one guy. They're just breeding as big and as pretty of a dog as they can. And they want to call it what they want to call it. And they hope to God that it takes, that it takes off, because honestly, there's actually quite a bit of money to be made in starting a registry. So, if you create a breed and then you're the only person that's registering registration papers for that litter, then every time somebody submits for that, you get money for that litter and you get money per each individual dog that is registered. So there's a lot of people that want to start breeds for that reason, because they want to be the registrar.
And I feel like that guy did that not for actually a functioning dog, because I don't think he is at that level of knowing what function is. But he bred for a look and size. Yeah. And that's how he's selling his dogs. And he's telling people these dogs can do all that. In reality, they can't. Mm-mm. But I can only imagine that females in that Mosler, that whatever he calls it, they probably only have heats once a year. And it's like good luck if they actually get pregnant. Because they look so unhealthy. Yeah, they do. They look so unhealthy. I mean, it's complicated enough just breeding like mastiffs that have been here forever. Imagine that. That's a mess. That's probably a mess. They're not functional. They're all looks. They're not functional. She said Reese is always right.
Yeah, I told y'all. I'm not playing, y'all. I told y'all.
Hey guys, if you want me to give you advice, leave your comment. Just let me know. I'll give you advice. I think I was an old soul in my first life.
Older than me. I'm a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? like I'm older than some, but I'm not as old as Reese. Like Reese looks at me sometimes like, girl. I'm like, ooh, okay. So yeah. Which honestly is refreshing for me because that's not usually like typically I'm the one that's kind of like the nagging ear or whatever, and people, not that she's nagging. I think it's only nagging if you don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? But that's why I tend to not listen to everything because I'm like, I know things too, Reese. You know what I'm saying? I can be right too sometimes. And then I have to admit, she's like, Rachel, but I told you, and I'm like, I know, but I didn't listen.
Someone said I should be a life coach. I've thought about it. Rachel said I should be.
That's what I told her. I said you should get paid for this, Reese. I said you should get paid for this. Hey, no, it's okay. I got you. It's okay. It's okay.
Reese, how do I get a partner? Never been in a relationship before. How old are you? Marjorie, you are late. Holy crap. You're 20? Girl, 20 is fun time. Just enjoy your life. Don't get into anything serious. Or a boy. I don't know if you're a girl or a boy. I just assumed. I'm sorry.
Y'all, we have to end the live stream in 5 minutes.
Why?
I don't mean to be a butt, but it won't save if we don't.
Who charges $1,000 a month for what? Michelle, are you telling me that you pay $1,000 a month for a life coach?
Oh, baby.
I'm waiting.
Baby.
Girl, I could be your life coach. And I won't charge you $1,000. Holy cannoli. Jeez.
Oh, I can hear her breathing.
She's so sweet.
$20,000 for a stud fee for Hulk. Courtney, if people are paying that, they're getting bent over. They're getting bent over and spanked.
Y'all, that's ridiculous. I can't believe he charges that much.
That he needs to charge $0 for that dog. I'm just saying, from a structural standpoint, hell no.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh, sorry. Sorry for that.
The puppy looks
Yeah, I think dogos are great. They're beautiful. I love them. I love dogos.
Somebody, I remember we didn't answer that question about how long it takes. I just realized it, about how long it takes for something to be a breed. I would say that something is a breed once you have bred it consistently to type and long enough for there to be enough of a gene pool to even be able to maintain it. So it's kind of like with cats, right? So with cats, you can do a hybrid, and after like 5 generations, it's called an SBT, which is where you actually like have like a breed, I guess. And so anyway, so it should be, it should have an actual type to it, meaning that like a Labrador when you see a Labrador, you know what I mean? And then you should have enough of those animals available to be able to even have a sustainable gene pool for breeding. That's what I would say.
Is the internet on?
Like I would say, as much as I don't like bully dogs, and especially the XL bullies, there actually is enough of them to where you could call them a breed now. In fact, I wish they would, instead of calling them pit bulls. Like Hulk should be called a bully dog. And if people want to pay $20,000 to breed to him as a bully dog, then sure, go ahead, whatever you want to do. But trying to breed to him for $20,000 as a pit bull, that is fraud. Straight up, that's fraud. That's not a pit bull.
Well, you guys, we are going to end it right here. We are so glad that y'all tuned in. We really appreciate it. Please give us some thumbs up, likes, whatever, subscribe, and catch us during the week on our channels. And we'll be doing this again and we will make sure we post it in good enough time for people to see
And
that
Reese,
we're doing it.
before you hang up, when we end this, you got to listen to that song that I just sent you on your messenger with me on the phone, so I know how you feel about it.
All right, we'll do it. We will do it. All right, we love you guys. Good night.
Bye, y'all.